is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up in the news for this Saturday, September 28, 2024, controversial dancehall star Adidja Palmer, popularly known as Vybz Cartel, is encouraging constituents of East Portland to vote for Attorney-at-Law Isaac Buchanan. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, believes the deaths of 3 pedestrians within the last 24 hours have brought into sharp focus the vulnerability of that category of road users. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is expressing concern about the prevalence of domestic violence in the society. While in news from the region, 6 individuals have been convicted and sentenced for illegal entry into Trinidad and Tobago. While on the international scene, killing of Hezbollah leader is historic turning point, says Benjamin Netanyahu. While in sports, Anthony Gordon's second half penalty earned Newcastle a point as Manchester City were held to a 1-1 draw in the English Premier League at St James Park today. The details after this.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Controversial dancehall star Adidja Palmer, popularly known as Vybz Cartel, is encouraging constituents of East Portland to vote for Attorney-at-Law Isaac Buchanan. Mr. Buchanan had represented Mr. Palmer during his high-profile murder trial. A post on X, formerly known as Twitter, is now making the rounds, where the DJ has described the attorney as the right man for the job.
Portland Eastern, remember, if you don't have a vote, you don't have a say. So enumerate today, Isaac Buchanan are the right man for the job. Remember, him now go thief and him now go rob. East Portland, Buchanan is running. I thought I told you that the comet is coming. Don't or?
Palmer was recently acquitted of the 2011 murder of Clyde Lizard Williams. After spending approximately 13 years behind bars, Palmer's conviction was overturned by the UK-based Privy Council, which found the original trial tainted by jury tampering. Cartel recently took to the podium during the PMP's roll call segment at the public session of its annual conference at the National Arena. East Portland is now being represented by the JLP's Anne-Marie Vaz. The Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, is now getting updates from all of its 66 offices on today's registration activities. The EOJ offices in all constituencies were open today to allow eligible persons to register to vote. The deaths of 3 pedestrians within the last 24 hours have brought into sharp focus the vulnerability of that category of road users. That's the word from Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones.
The report this morning of 4 pedestrian fatalities in the past 48 hours brings into very sharp focus the extreme vulnerability of this category of road users, together with pedal cyclists and motorcyclists who make up the vulnerable road user category. So far, 276 persons have died on the nation's roads, and for the month of September, 29 persons have died. And of this number of 276, 52 pedestrians have died on the nation's roads.
According to information provided by the Police Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, in one of the incidents which took place this morning around 3:44, 2 males aged 37 and 57 died when a Mitsubishi was traveling east along Washington Boulevard, and upon reaching the vicinity of the Marvelly community, it allegedly made contact with the pedestrians who were standing in the roadway, assisting another motorist involved in a previous motor vehicle collision. Both were transported to the hospital where they were pronounced dead. The other incident took place yesterday, Friday, September 27, when a female pedestrian aged 62 was standing on the side of E Street in front of P.A. Benjamin's. A Honda Fit was traveling south along E Street, while a white Toyota Probox was traveling west along Charles Street. Upon reaching the intersection, which is controlled by a traffic light, it is alleged that one of the vehicles disobeyed the traffic signal, resulting in the Toyota Probox colliding with the left rear section of the Honda Fit. The impact reportedly pushed the Honda Fit sideways into the pedestrian standing on the side of the road. She sustained multiple injuries and was pronounced dead. Meanwhile, Dr. Jones said public education and enforcement of the speed limits are effective tools to stem the number of fatalities.
One is to educate pedestrians on how to use the roads, which is an ongoing policy, something which the National Road Safety Council has been speaking about for a long time. And we just need to continue public education as a matter of priority so that less people can die on our roads. But this has to be joined up with the number 2 issue, which is speeding. To the extent that vehicles are speeding or being driven at excessive speeds, to that extent, vulnerable road users, especially pedestrians, are going to be in trouble. So we need enforcement of the speed limits.
Dr. Lucian Jones, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council. Meanwhile, a motorcyclist died as a result of injuries he sustained in a crash on the Silent Hill Main Road in northeast Manchester on Friday night. Dead is 34-year-old Rakesh Hanson, otherwise called Rox, a pump attendant and resident of New Forest in South Manchester. Police reports are that about 7:45 p.m., Hanson was driving a motorcycle on the main road when he lost control of it and crashed. He was pronounced dead at hospital. However, police say the motorcycle has not been located as it was removed from the scene. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is expressing concern about the prevalence of domestic violence in the society. While on a tour of St. Anne yesterday, September 28, the Prime Minister said the security forces have made a dent in gang activity. However, violence that stems from domestic disputes is a serious cause for concern.
I'm hearing as I go around the country, people are beginning to see the reduction of gang-related, the organized armed criminal violence. But what is becoming a feature now is the domestic violence, the interpersonal relations, the domestic abuse, the intimate partner violence, and some, community domestic issues that are things that you can't put a policeman at every person's door to deal with every private dispute. So it does speak to some social issues that are coming to play. And more the police will be required to be able to assist and respond.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness speaking yesterday in St. Anne, September 27. Meanwhile, the head of the St. Anne Police, Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, acknowledged that incidents of domestic violence have prompted the police to put in place resources to address the problem.
Most of our problem in St. Anne is really intimate partner, domestic related issues. So 65% over the years of our problem in terms of crime and violence is really domestic related. We have a domestic related center all the way up in the hills of Alexandria.
Okay.
We place it there because that area was void of that kind of resources. So down at the center, especially in St. Annesby, we partner with the Justice Center. So in terms of their office, becomes our space. So we work in as partner agencies to mitigate those domestic related issues. So the police, with the social intervention program, from the 11 police stations that we have in the parish, and we are strategically placed right across the division. So we are able, through those stations, to infuse ourselves in the community.
Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, head of the St. Anne Police. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining is reporting that it has distributed $29 million in disaster relief to more than 580 fisherfolk across the island. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green provided the update on the ongoing Hurricane Beryl recovery program during the sitting of the House of Representatives on Tuesday. Mr. Green said the assistance included cash vouchers for the purchase of fishing gear and assistance with repairing cooperative buildings. He says aid was provided in the parishes of St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Clarendon, St. Thomas and St. Catherine. The minister pointed out that in St. Catherine, $700,000 was provided to the Half Moon Bay Fisherfolk Cooperative in Hellshire for building repairs. Mr. Green says charitable organizations have also played a role in the disaster relief effort. Sandals Foundation donated $2.5 million. NCB Foundation, in collaboration with Rainforest, have earmarked $10 million for beach development projects, and Brett's Foundation donated wire and nets to 120 fisherfolk. Hurricane Beryl impacted over 11,000 fishers island-wide, with more than 67 fishing beaches suffering damage, estimated to cost more than $221 million. And now to news in the region. 6 individuals have been convicted and sentenced for illegal entry into Trinidad and Tobago following their appearance before a senior magistrate at the San Fernando 3rd Magistrate Court. The individuals, all of a foreign nationality, were charged on September 26, 2024, and after pleading guilty to the offences, they were remanded until their sentencing yesterday, September 27, 2024. They were convicted and fined $5,000. In default of payment, they will serve 30 days of simple imprisonment. They were given 2 weeks to pay the fine. To news now on the international scene. Hezbollah has confirmed the death of its leader Hassan Nasrallah after Israeli strikes on Beirut. Nasrallah, who had not been seen in public for years because of fears of being assassinated by Israel, was one of the best known and most influential figures in the Middle East. Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel has settled the score with Nasrallah's death, and it is a historic turning point. U.S. President Joe Biden says his death is a measure of justice for his many victims, but Iran's supreme leader declares 5 days of mourning and says his death will not go unavenged. Israel and Hezbollah are continuing to launch strikes across the border, while the Houthis in Yemen say they fired a missile at Israel's Ben Gurion airport, which Israel intercepted. Lebanese officials say 11 people were killed and 108 injured in strikes on Friday in Beirut, with local officials saying that nearly 800 people have been killed in Israeli strikes in Lebanon since Monday. Let's now turn to sports because Anthony Gordon's second half penalty earned Newcastle a point as Manchester City were held to a 1-1 draw in the English Premier League at St James Park today.
Grealish, Gvardiol, nice check, lovely finish. We've seen this movie before. Manchester City go away from home. The hosts cause problems to them, but it is the champions who strike first. It's a long delay, and Gordon unerringly, with an iron nerve, and Newcastle's number 10 has hauled them level. But the composure here in the run-up, there was a lot of time taken in what he's done. He's picked his spot, he hasn't looked up. He's let Edison go one way, and he never ever was going to change his mind from that penalty spot kick. And he showed great composure to bring Newcastle United 1-1.
In other results, Arsenal beat Leicester City 4-2, Brentford and West Ham they drew 1-1, Chelsea beat Brighton 4-2, Everton edged Crystal Palace 2-1, Fulham clipped Nottingham Forest 1-0, and Liverpool they beat Wolves 2-1. In tomorrow's fixtures, Ipswich Town where they'll play Aston Villa and Manchester United play Tottenham. And now for a recap of the top stories making nationwide news at 5. Controversial dancehall star Adidja Palmer, popularly known as Vybz Cartel, is encouraging constituents of East Portland to vote for attorney-at-law Isaac Buchanan. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, believes the deaths of 3 pedestrians within the last 24 hours have brought into sharp focus the vulnerability of that category of road users. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is expressing concern about the prevalence of domestic violence in the society. And in news from the region, 6 individuals have been convicted and sentenced for illegal entry into Trinidad and Tobago. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 9 tomorrow morning, but stay tuned as up next, the dynamic duo Wayne Walker and Alex Swaby with Sports Nation Live.
Reliability is the key to business success. F&D Energy ensures your generator performs when needed. Contact F&D Energy to schedule a free consultation. F&D Energy, powering Jamaica's businesses, one generator at a time.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene.
amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really clip you starting?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Click News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Tune in to our program live from our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we're also on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693.
Okay, good afternoon. It's Saturday, September 28, 2024. Now, if you bowl it, we'll hit it for 6. If you pass it, we'll score it. Give us a pool, we'll dive in. And as fast as the starter's gun fires, we're at that finish line. I'm Alric Swibble. This is Sports Nation Live on Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradiogm.com, and Flow Channel 916. You can also tune in to our program live on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we open the lines at 7:30 to take your calls. The numbers to call are 876-630-9371, 876-630-9372, 876-63973, and 876-630-9374. Now, coming up, we have another pack and exciting show lineup for you. We'll be talking football, horse racing, NFL, and much more. But first, an athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24.
1 Corinthians 9 verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Did you notice when reading this verse that it doesn't say you must win or you will win? It is actually telling us that the kind of effort and dedication victory requires. Competing with integrity is the key here. Anyone can cheat and win, but what does that do us morally? It's not about winning at all costs or abandoning your values to do anything it takes to win. This is telling us we need to perform at our absolute best and have the self-discipline to compete in a focused, well-practiced, and strategic manner. If we do that, we will perform in such a way that will be nearly impossible to beat. Will we get beat sometimes? Absolutely. However, in performing with honor, we can feel victorious even in a loss.
Okay, so that was our athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Now, our feature, you just had to be there. We relive Vestia winning the Red Stripe Super Stakes in 1993 and EOS fighting off the challenge of Milligram to take the Golden Cup in 1995.
The field in line and sent away for the Red Stripe Super Stakes 1993. Restless Babe took off well toward the rail. Milligram in between horses. Vestia with a rush comes past us with the lead as they leave the winning post for the first time. Vestia up front. The fractions on a loose rein. Restless Babe is on the rail. Milligram moving by. The Viceroy sticking close. President-elect is just in between horses. Orient Express taken wide on that turn along with Classy Slew. In behind those, that's Mr. Lassie, followed up by This Bud's For You. And just at the back, it is Shoein Braun, but Vestia goes with the lead. Heading out of that first turn. Just on her tail, that's the Viceroy. Milligram sticking close to him. 2.5 lengths back to Classy Slew. Ahead away the Derby winner, Restless Babe, as they turn over on the far side. 2 lengths back to Orient Express. Now the rider going to work. In behind those, that's President-elect. 5 lengths back to Mr. Lassie as they've last passed the 6th. Another length back to Shoein Braun, and This Bud's For You still dozing at the back. They come with 5/8 of a mile to run. It is Vestia taken on now by the Viceroy. In behind them, Milligram now bubbling up to the boy down the far side. Another 3 lengths back to Restless Babe, beginning to motor. Classy Slew is next. In behind those, that's Orient Express with a lot to find from here. Mr. Lassif is next. And then we find This Bud's For You now beginning a winding run. On the outside, that's Shoein Braun and President-elect left at the back. The tempo quickens in the Super Stakes. It's Vestia fighting to hold the lead. Attacked by the Viceroy as they leave the 5/16. Milligram is on the outside. Restless Babe is right there in contention. But Vestia leads the Super Stakes into the stretch. The Viceroy on her outside. Restless Babe has the run on the rail. Milligram is next and trying to close up on the outside. Mr. Lassif is running a brave race. It's Vestia at the furlong pole. Restless Babe in hot pursuit. Behind them, the Viceroy and Milligram. They seem to be found wanting. Vestia inside the last 16th. Restless Babe coming at her, but Vestia hands tough under a brilliant front-running ride. Vestia the winner. Restless Babe.
Several lengths early. Bold Queen quick on her feet goes for the lead. There goes Eros blasting to the front already as they rush away, leaving the 6. Eros put on the lead. 3 to 4 ahead of Bold Queen. Milligram right alongside. Just in behind there's Melissa's Song, overtaken by the speedy Green Mogul. Heir to the Throne is kept to the outside. Right there, Good Night Boy holding on to a close position. 6 lengths off the lead. A length and a piece to Classy Slew. Mr. Sensation now beginning to wind up. Followed through by Roman. 4.5 lengths back to the slow starting Royal Dancer. Just ahead of Jason's Dream. Schismatized not in this class is the back marker 7/16. And it is Eros Griffith slowing him down. Just 2 in front of Green Mogul. Milligram poised on the outside. Just in behind them, Bold Queen vigorously ridden. Mr. Sensational now getting into it along with Heir to the Throne. They're grouping up with Eros out in front, about to enter the lane in the Gold Cup. Can he win it once again? It's Eros Griffiths turning us inside the last quarter. Eros with the lead. 2 to 3 on top. Here comes Milligram now beginning to launch a strong attack. The field come toward the furlong pole. It is Eros out on the lead. He's traveling strongly from Milligram left, 3 legs down. Mr. Sensational trying to close up. Eros with the lead. Will he last? He's holding on to a shortening 2-leg lead. Milligram coming at him. Eros is game. He wins it. Milligram is second. Third goes to Classy Slew. Ahead of Mr. Sensational. Then Roman. Followed through there by Schismatized. In behind those, that's Heir to the Throne, Good Night Boy. And then we have Melissa's Song, Jason's Dream, Bold Queen at the back, Royal Dancer.
Okay, that was our feature. You just had to be there, where we relived Vestia winning the Red Stripe Super Stakes in 1993 and Eros fighting off the challenge of Milligram to take the Gold Cup in 1995. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Outperform, outlast, guilty. We top performance, guilty. Chakama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Fancy select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Discover the magic of the Mona Library during Library Open Week 2024. Help celebrate with faculty members and students during this signature event, Celebration of Books, which will showcase scholarships coming out of the Mona campus. Discover cutting-edge digital tools that will enhance your professional development skills through their e-resource fair. Come on out, connect, unlock new opportunities, and dive into the world of knowledge. Discover, learn, succeed. October 13 to 17, 2024 at the Mona Library.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, nationwide this morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Weber, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. I must apologize. We'll not be having any live reports from various tournaments and competition around the island, as Wayne Walker is not 100%, so he's a bit under the weather. We wish him all the best. But we'll be talking some bodybuilding now, as Mayberry Investment Limited pumped $1 million into this year's staging of the Jamaica Bodybuilding and Fitness Job for National Senior Championships at the AC Hotel, which is set to begin at about 7 o'clock this evening. The championship serves to crown the country's best athletes and select the national teams for regional and international competitions. General Manager Mayberry, Damon Wiley, says it's an honor to partner with JABFA for the third year.
This year is particularly special as we welcome the Jamaica Olympic Association to the team. Their involvement brings an additional prestige to the championship, and we are excited about the new opportunities it will create for our athletes, helping them reach even higher on the international stage. Mayberry has always been committed to supporting initiatives that contribute to national development, and sports is one of the most powerful platforms to achieve this. Our partnership with JABFA is not just about supporting athletes on their fitness journeys, but about promoting health, discipline, and excellence within our community.
Okay, that was Damian Wiley, the General Manager at Mayberry Investment Limited. We are joined now on the line by Kirk Frankson, the Vice President of JABFA. Kirk, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Ulrich. Afternoon, Nationwide. How is everyone doing?
So far, so good. And how's things on your side?
Quite good, quite good. As you indicated, setting up at the AC, putting on the final finishing touches, expecting a packed auditorium.
Right. Tell me, how is that going? Or preparation going so far? I mean, you're in the final stretch to get things ready.
Yeah, so thanks for that question. So things going very well. Registration has closed. We closed registration 2 days ago. We have over 55 competitors across the different disciplines that we have. Interestingly, we saw several persons who haven't competed in a little while, persons like Henry Graham, coming out to actually participate in the National Senior Championships. Part of that, as we move to selecting the national team and persons getting an opportunity to be crowned Mr. and Mr. Jamaica, has really, again, reignited that interest in health and fitness.
Right. With that, I'm assuming that you would have had a larger number of persons registering for these championships. What's that like? What's in terms of numbers? How many athletes would have registered for the competition?
So the registration has gone very well. We would have actually had several smaller competitions during the year. So we had recently had our Western Regional Championship at Negril Treehouse, where we'd have had several persons coming out of Westmoreland, Ocherios, Montego Bay. So the Western Regional Champion is coming in to see how he will fare against the Kingston persons early in the year. We also had our novice and junior championships, and again, those persons are also coming to the senior championship. So it's a very interesting contrast where we will now see persons who are, like most cases, accustomed to winning, going up against these veterans, these seniors, to see how it is that they actually measure up.
Right. You mentioned just now the introduction of the Western Championships. Tell me when and why was this element introduced?
So we introduced this for two elements. A lot of our athletes, especially in that side of the island, had indicated the challenges and the difficulty of coming into Kingston. And I think in terms of trying to actually meet our stakeholders, we recognize the importance of not being entirely Kingston-centric and having that mandate of being a national sporting association. We recognize the need to have competitions, not just in the capital, but competitions which actually allow persons to be able to compete without going through undue stress. Likewise, we recognize that there are a lot of persons in Montego Bay, Ocherios, Negril who have an interest in the sport, and we do want to actually encourage and incentivize their participation.
Have you seen, or are you expecting a bit of rivalry between the Western athletes and those that are from Kingston and other environs?
So we have actually seen, and that's a very interesting question, we have seen some interesting, I'm going to say, friendly competitions between persons across the different gyms. So we know that we have some very strong gyms in Ocherios, like Maya's Fitness Center. We have persons coming out of Express Fitness. So there's a lot of friendly rivalry taking place between the athletes as they prepare for the event.
Right. And tell me, what are the categories that's on show?
So the main categories on show are the bodybuilding categories, and bodybuilding is divided into several subcategories.
Okay.
So we have the weight categories for bodybuilding ranging from lightweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight. We also have classic bodybuilding. For the males, we also have men's physique, and again, that's a category which is with three subcategories, which we do by height, which would be short class, medium class, and tall class. For the females, we also have two main categories for them. So we have bikini fitness, which has three variations. So there's a height variation, which is short class and tall class. And there's what we also call bikini wellness, which is for the persons who have larger hips or are predisposed to having, again, I guess, a shape that most of us like in Jamaica. We also have the body fitness category, which is for the females who prefer a more toned, more muscular look. So a lot of our listeners would be familiar with persons like Kristen McGregor, but we also have persons who would be considered more of a model look. So in both categories, for males and females, we have an opportunity for persons who have been in the gym to participate. What's also interesting about the sport of bodybuilding is that age is something that we don't really see as a constraint.
Right.
So our youngest competitor for this is actually someone who did very well at the junior competition, 19-year-old Marquis Wright. And our oldest competitor is actually Trevor Bent, who is 73 years old.
Okay. Right, so anyone can, so I mean, my technical operator Kevin can suit up next year then?
Yeah, so definitely we
he's
have
about
the Masters
he's about 8
category.
9
They're
though.
looking for persons to come into the Masters category.
Okay, so you can jump into the Masters category at about
Yeah, man,
90,
we'll make a
98.
special exemption for him. Let me send over the registration form as we speak.
Okay, but tell me, a lot of excitement is will be on show. Apart from what we'll be seeing on stage in terms of the competitors, and what are some of the other exciting things that will be in store for patrons?
So again, thanks for that question. So a lot of other exciting giveaways in store for patrons. So patrons will have an opportunity to win gym memberships from a host of our gym partners. So they can win gym memberships from Express Fitness, Fit Farm. Likewise, several of our patrons would have an opportunity to participate in some of the activities. We have several samples and demonstrations at the AC Hotel while we're actually there for the night. So the patrons will have a very good opportunity to interact, see their trainers, see persons who will actually allow them to see that manifestation of their hard work.
Right. I'm not sure if it's a different this is a different competition, but I remember attending the championship once, and it was for over 3 days. Is it the fact that you have reduced it, or that was a different competition?
So we have reduced it. Again, having listened to our public, what we had done in the past was really do pre-judging. Then we moved into the second day for finals. Again, what we had recognized is that a lot of our competitors had indicated, especially as we said, that we are serving the entire island, persons who may be coming out of, whether it's actually Westmoreland or any other parish. It was a little bit onerous on them to actually be in Kingston for 3 days. So we have actually compressed it into 1 day or a one-night show.
And also there were sponsors booth and stuff like that persons could purchase stuff or just get to be aware of what these sponsors products are. Will that be available also? We have the sponsors booth and stuff like that.
Amen. So the sponsors booths are on site. So we have CPJ on site giving out several samples in terms of healthy products, part of their, again, flavored water. We have Lasco Financial on board introducing persons to some of their products. We have Wisinko also introducing persons to some of their products, their Nature Valley Bar, some of their healthy drinks. So several of the persons in the fitness industry will be on board, allowing you to actually see their products and their alignment with your own personal fitness goals.
Right, and like we mentioned earlier, the competition is at the AC Hotel. Tell us what's the price to get in, and if we still have tickets.
Yeah, so thanks for that question. So the competition starts 7 o'clock at the AC Hotel. Tickets were available. I think the online link on Gustav's is now closed, so the only tickets available are tickets at the gate. Tickets are $6,000 at the gate.
Right. Earlier in the segment, we played a clip from Damian Wiley of Mayberry. He mentioned that GOA was also a part of your sponsorship. What does it mean for JABFA to have two major entities like Mayberry and GOA supporting this championship?
So it's quite instrumental for us to have both Mayberry and GOA on board. And for us at JABFA, one of the things that we would have recognized is that coming out of the pandemic, we really were struggling to, I'm going to say, resume our sporting discipline. It was really through discussions with GOA that they leveraged the partnership with Mayberry, and Mayberry and GOA have been on board for the last 3 years, where they have really grown the event and by extension grown the sport. So when we came out of the pandemic, we really were able to have one event for the year. We are now at a stage where we're having 4 events for the season, and we're looking at expanding the season, seeing how we can actually, again, even leverage that partnership with the Jamaica Olympic Association to have pro qualifiers in Jamaica, so that we give our athletes a better chance to get their pro card, as opposed to trying to go out to Barbados or the US or other countries to compete. So we can actually bring persons into the country and likewise continue to actually grow the sport and expose more persons to the opportunities of sport and sport tourism.
This is the national championships. What does the winners get for coming out on top at these championships? Medals, cash prize. What do they get?
So the winners get several things. I think in order of priority for them, this bragging rights first, but to accompany the bragging rights, they do get, so the top 3 receive trophies. The overall winners receive cash prizes, several baskets, tokens from both. All of our sponsors will provide different baskets, supplements from Fitness Junkie, So again, in terms of prize money, persons receive as much as 50,000 cash for each category that they would win, and the overall winners likewise would receive cash prizes.
We can understand the category winners, but how do one become an overall winner?
So in terms of if we use the example of men's physique, we would have had 3 categories for men's physique: short, tall, and medium.
Right.
So at the end of the night, we would actually now compare the short class winner to the medium and the tall and have an overall winner for men's physique.
What would determine who wins?
So the judging criteria is still applied, where we're now looking at the same criteria in terms of muscularity, symmetry. We're trying to actually assess them to the extent that they meet that V-taper, the X-frame that we have. So it's the same criteria that we're using. All of our judges are IFBB certified. So they would then be able to determine who best represents the category irrespective of the height differences.
Okay, so what you're saying is at the end of competition, the category winners for short, middle, and tall class, they will compete
for
together for an overall trophy.
Correct, and the same is true for bodybuilding. So again, through the different disciplines, we will actually have an overall winner at the end of the night.
Right. This is the national championships. When we have track and field and you have the national championships, persons are not only competing to be national champions, but trying to make national teams for Olympic, World Championships, Commonwealth Games, other global competitions. What does the winners of this championships qualify for, if anything?
So again, the winners of our national championship, as you said, like all other national championships, they will actually become a part of the national team. The national team will go off next month to represent the country at the Central American and Caribbean Championships in Guyana.
Right, and tell me what's that's a regional championship that gets you to an even bigger championship, but.
Correct. So that's a regional championship. You have an opportunity to win a pro card, and again, based on your placing in the regional championship, you will actually be able to advance to the World Championships in Spain. So we do have several athletes. Again, we have Daniel Horton advancing already to the World Championships. So as persons, as you said, move from the regional championships, they can then move on to the World Championships.
Right, and I'm assuming you have more sponsors apart from Mayberry and Joey. If you want to just say thanks to them for coming on board.
Yes, thanks again for that. So we do have, as you said, several other sponsors on board who would really like to highlight. The main ones that you had made reference to would be Mayberry as our title sponsor for the last 3 years, GOA, the ongoing support of the Sports Development Foundation, Caribbean Producers, Jamaica, Lasco Financial, Lasco's Distributors, Gustav's as our ticket distributor, several brands under the Wisinka Group, including Vitamol, Nature Valley, Powerade, Vigaton, Fitness Junkie, our extensive gym partners, Express Fitness, Fit Farm, Tough, and Push, our official photographer.
Right, and finally, let me give you this opportunity just to encourage the few Jamaicans that's not aware of this championship, encourage them to come out early and enjoy a good show.
Yeah, so definitely, if you've never been to a bodybuilding show, it is something that is a very family fun-filled experience. You can see it's a very intimate experience. You can feel the energy in the event. You will actually enjoy seeing persons actually, again, competing on stage. Come out. We start at 7 o'clock. AC Hotel. Tickets are only $6,000.
Okay, then. That's Kirk Franson, Vice President of JABFA. Kirk, thanks much and all the best.
Thank you very much again, Ulrich.
Okay, with that, we take a quick break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Yo, CXC results, I move away in a rasta.
Unhappy with your exam results?
English alone, I get my G.
Maths Unlimited has you covered.
What is? 365 Maths Unlimited? Come, we could go check it out, bro. Alright.
Complete the 6th form program and be certified for many great job opportunities. Call 876-968-8427 or visit us at 6 to 8 Parkington Plaza, Kingston 10. Maths Unlimited, your pathway to a brighter future.
How certain are you that you're taking proper care of your pets? How often do you take them to the vet? Just as we need annual checkups with our doctors, most pets need regular checkups too. Owning and caring for a family pet doesn't have to be a difficult or burdensome experience. Nationwide 90 FM has an exciting feature called Pets World that will help you take better care of your pets. Join Nationwide 90 FM every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning as we take you into the do's and don'ts of caring for your pets. That's Pets World every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
But is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene.
Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We are having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Cliff you stalking?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for This Morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie, give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Cliff News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Raby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. And I must again remind you that we'll not be having any outside interviews and reports from Wayne Walker, as he's not 100%. He's a bit under the weather. We wish him a speedy recovery. Now we'll be talking some football now. Let's look at the Jamaica Premier League. The match is on for tomorrow. Or Harbourview against Mullines United, Vere United against Humber Lions, Waterhouse, they'll take on Cavalier. On Gardens, they'll be going up against Racing, while the Monday night clash will see Chapelton Maroons taking on Montego Bay United and Portmore United going up against Tivoli Gardens. We'll go over to the English Premier League as Anthony Gordon's second half a penalty earned Newcastle a point as Manchester City were held to a 1-1 draw at St James Park today.
Grealish, Gvardiol, nice check, lovely finish. We've seen this movie before. Manchester City go away from home. The hosts cause problems to them, but it is the champions who strike first. It's a long delay, and Gordon unerringly, with an iron nerve, and Newcastle's number 10 has hauled them level. But the composure here in the run-up, there was a lot of time taken in what he's done. He's picked his spot, he hasn't looked up. He's let Edison go one way, and he never ever was going to change his mind from that penalty spot kick. And he showed great composure to bring Newcastle United 1-1.
Now, City manager Pep Guardiola spoke about needing to find a solution to the injured Rodri as Manchester City drew 1-1 with Newcastle.
Pep, does that game show how important again Rodri is to your team, given the very physical game that was out there?
We played really good, and Kovacic, Enrico, and after Bernardo, they were brilliant. Really, really good.
You don't think you missed his physical presence today against a Newcastle team that are really pressurising you?
I miss Rodri for his qualities, but today the physical presence was bossing behind. So when they ran the ball and attack our back from Josko or Kyle or wherever, that there is a why. In the midfielder we were strong. So there's a game. So they start really well the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And after we were good to the goal, we had chances, we controlled the game. I know it's difficult for the intensity they pressed, but we dropped them and they were brilliant, scored a goal, and after, in the best moment, we conceded the penalty. After they had the best moments for 10 minutes, 12 minutes, they were really good. But at the end, we take it. We had chances with Phil, with Bernardo, with some last passes, and especially, and we take the point.
Rico is very inexperienced, although he has played for England. He's played a lot of games for you. Does he take on board what you're asking him to do? Is it hard for him to understand the advanced way you want?
He's a player, we don't have to talk much about what he has to do because he's so smart, intelligent. Intelligent players, the football is a movement game. So how you decide in all the actions, it depends on the intelligence of the player. Sometimes you need to be more structured to say how to do this and that, no more information. But Rico read perfectly what he has to do. Of course, he's young, he will improve at 90 years old, 20. But he play again exceptional well. He's really good in smaller spaces. When the game is complete transitions, there are players than them. But we know that how deep was Inter de Milan, Arsenal, or the other one in smaller spaces. He's a really, really good player and play really, really good again.
It's unusual to see Eddie Howe talk to a manager for so long after the final whistle. What was that conversation about?
Listen, I have a lot of, but you know, for many years I'm here, he's many years as well, so Bournemouth and the other one. So I said to him how I admire him for the way he approached the game, and first in a high pressing. The team is so direct, so they have a lot of legs with Murphy, with actually Noes, but Gordon, Barnes. So we control them really, really well in most of part of the game, especially when we play so high. You know, Bruno and Joelinton and the physicality, Tonali, and after the central defender so high. It's a so difficult team. So we know when Newcastle last season struggled a bit for just one reason, for a lot of injuries that they had. Otherwise, the team can compete really well. And you know, when you are a manager for many years, a lot of times, and it's, you know, never created problems. The press conference always polite for the opponents, like we try to do as a club. So why should not be? So I admit that we would like to win, we draw, they deserve as well. So, and we take the point both.
Now, Newcastle manager Eddie Howe believed they could have done better in the first half.
Battling, but I suspect a bit more than that. You'll be very happy with that, I should think.
Yeah, we are happy, especially after last week. That was a good display. That was us playing our way, brave. I thought it was, two teams going right at each other for probably 70 minutes. The last 20, I think they were stronger than us, and we had to defend really well to maintain the point.
Did you feel you could have got a bit more in the first half? You certainly got it in the second.
Yeah, I felt there was opportunities for us. I thought we gave them a problem early on in the game. We get into really good crossing areas. Probably didn't get enough bodies in the box from those crosses and enough goalmouth action for the areas we got in. But I was really pleased with how we were attacked the game, how we were off the ball, on the ball. Yeah, I can't ask for much more than that. The lads gave everything.
Now, Arsenal scored twice in stoppage time to earn a dramatic 4-2 victory over Leicester City at Emirates Stadium today.
Saka, Timber, Arsenal in front, swept in front by Gabriel Martinelli, who squandered an earlier chance, but made sure there. I don't think there's any argument. It is Arsenal 2, Leicester City 0. And it's the second Premier League goal this season for Leandro Trossard. Rare opportunity for Leicester to put some pressure on the Arsenal back line. Buonanotte with the free kick. And Leicester pulled a goal back. And Didi. Oh, it's beautifully done. That is magnificent from James Justin. Oh, what a sensational goal. His first one might have been a bit fortunate, but that was top draw. Saliba almost on the toes of the goalkeeper this time. And it's gone in. Leandro Trossard takes the acclaim. The late show from Arsenal at the Emirates.
The Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta had high praises for his players.
Mikel, after the late heartache last week, you must be delighted to be on the other side of it this week.
I'm really happy, really pleased with the performance, with the attitude of the team, the way we played, dominated the game. And I'm especially happy the way the team reacted, when it got very, very difficult with a really unexpected 2 goals conceded that put the game at stake and the result at stake, and we showed an unbelievable, and the crowd included, emotional control, a lot of belief, a lot of clarity in what we have to continuously doing, and a lot of courage to, at the end, find a way to win it.
It was a game of 2 halves. What do you think changed at half-time when Leicester sort of came out and sort of surprised us for those 2 goals?
Well, the first action. Obviously, we give the ball away. There is a counter, a free kick. On top of that, there is a deflection. Ball goes in. Wow, it's not a worse way to start a second half. And the second time that they are on there, they score a worldie from Justin. So shake hands and say well done. And now we have to do the game again. We have to start to do it, where emotionally you are in a very different position that you expected or you were a few minutes before. But if you want to win any context, you have to be able to do these kind of things. The team showed, again, another step, another layer in the development, and I'm really, really happy.
Their keeper had an absolute blinder of a game. He was incredible. For the players to have kept going like that and keep trying, not let their heads go down, that must be the most pleasing thing of the day.
Yeah, I was very happy because, again, you can start to feel sorry for yourself. What else do I have to do to win? No, we have to do more things because with what we've done is not enough. And to have that mentality, that purpose, and that perseverance is really impressive because it's easy to say here, but very difficult to do it down there. And I think our supporters, the crowd, were exceptional at that, at creating that atmosphere of belief or energy and not an atmosphere of nerve or insecurity. So thank you so much because they helped a lot the team to get the points.
A lot happened obviously in that second half, but it's easy to forget that Gabriel Martinelli was fantastic in the first half, got a goal, got an assist, must be really pleased.
Yes, because the game starts again at 2-2, and what you've done is okay, it was okay, but now we have to play a different game, and we were able to play that game really well as well.
14 games unbeaten now, momentum's building nicely ahead of what's going to be a special night on Tuesday against PSG.
Massive game, beautiful game, the kind of game that we want to play against one of the best teams in the world, one of the best coaches in the world, so let's prepare for that one.
Mikel Arteta. Now, Thomas Soucek's second half strike earned West Ham a point at Brentford after Brian Mbeumo scored another quick-fire goal for the host in the first minute.
Ball into the box. Here is Schade. He loops it across goal. Todibo gets his head to it. West Ham struggling to get out. They've done it again! Another goal inside the opening minute. How do they keep doing it? A stunner last Saturday, and Brian Mbeumo is at it again. A fantastic finish. Brentford, the Premier League's fire starters. Still Paquetá here. Into Bowen, laid off by Soucek. Bowen back to Soucek now. Antonio, can he make room to strike? Soucek's in there, and West Ham United are level. Yet again, Thomas Soucek in the right place at the right time. Well, they made a dreadful start here this afternoon, But now West Ham are back on level terms.
No foreign attacking player being compared to legendary Premier League forwards Dennis Bergkamp and Robin van Persie is not a bad thing at all. Chelsea striker Cole Palmer was likened to both after his history-making performance in Saturday's 4-2 win against Brighton at Stamford Bridge. The 22-year-old got all 4 goals, scoring them in the first half of the game, the first time that has ever happened in the Premier League.
Played across and Caicedo, in danger of overplaying there, Chelsea, and Sanchez has come and it's gone in. The goalkeeper didn't make it. Georgino Ruta doesn't know a lot about it, but Brighton have a shot lead here. Jackson's away for Chelsea, and Jackson squares it. And this will be the third time of asking a goal this afternoon for Cole Palmer. It's a perfect 10. It is Palmer. Oh, wow! He's had a slow start to the season in front of goal, but he's now back to hat-trick. 30 incredible minutes here at Stamford Bridge. Confirmation there of a yellow card for Henchwood and an opportunity for Brighton. It's 3-2. Believers scored. Sancho. It's Palmer again. Both got 4 now. And it's not even half time. This is one of the great Premier League halves from an individual. It's Cole Palmer 4, Brighton 2.
Now Enzo Maresca and a player of the match, Cole Palmer, reacts after Brighton thriller.
Enzo, first of all, have you caught your breath yet? Because that was an incredible afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good, very good. I think the game was exactly the way we planned. I said many times, we can do many things better, we can attack better, we can defend better, but overall I think the performance was good. We deserve to win.
Have you ever known, as a coach, a first half like that today?
I was quite intense. We conceded the first one, and then the team continued in the same way. We created many chances. Then we conceded the second one. That for me it's more about to read the moment better, because we were 1-0 down. We scored 3-1 up. We don't need to take any risk in that moment, and the action starts with Malo that take risk, and then Robert. In that moment, we don't need to take risk. But the good thing is, as I said, from now on we are going to concede more goals like this. But it's just part of the way we want to play.
As a coach, how difficult is in-game management when it is a game like that? Because it was end-to-end at times, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think second half was much better in terms of control the game. We didn't concede nothing second half. Probably first half we conceded a bit more, also because they surprised us a little bit in the way they were playing. We prepared the pressing in different ways, so we struggled to adjust a little bit. And then I think second half, we completely controlled the game.
A word on Cole Palmer. Wasn't a bad first half, but you were saying he could have even scored more, couldn't he?
Yeah, no, he scored 4, he could score more. No, but I said many times, for Cole the most important thing is that he enjoys football. He has not to feel the pressure in his shoulder that he has to score or assist every game. He has just to enjoy football. And Cole, you can see that he loves football.
He certainly does. You've known him a long time. How special a talent do you think he is?
He's top. You can see that. But the best thing he has for me is that he's a very simple guy. In the way he was 3-4 years ago, he's exactly in the same way. Never change, doesn't change. Even if he score goal, don't score goal. He's always the simple guy, very good boy, and this is the most important thing.
He'll obviously get the headlines today, but elsewhere, people like Nicholas Jackson gave everything. Didn't get his goal, but what did he give to the overall team performance today?
Yeah, Nicholas was attacking behind many times. He had many chances, he missed, but no matter. The most important thing is to create chances, and then at the end we are going to score goals.
Finally, we've spoken about the bond with the supporters before here at Stamford Bridge. What does a performance and a result like this do for that bond moving forward?
No, the thing that they have to understand is that we need this kind of games where we also make some mistake, because it's part of our way, our process, and then at the end we win. But I was very happy today to share with them 3 points.
Cole, first of all, congratulations. Where to start? What an afternoon. How are you feeling?
Yeah, delighted with the 3 points especially and the 4 goals. Not bad. It's not a bad afternoon.
An incredible first half. I mean, you are the first player to score 4 in a Premier League game. I mean, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's a good stat. I didn't even know that was true, to be fair, but yeah, I'm happy about it.
It was an incredible game. It was end to end. It felt like that first half could have been anything. What was it like to play in?
Yeah, it was a good game. Brighton are a good team. They set up well, they passed the ball about well, so we needed to be on it. The manager gave us a good game plan and I think it worked.
Obviously they scored early. How pleased were you with the response? Because it was immediate, wasn't it?
Yeah, we started slow, but we knew we'd get chances. It's just about taking them. On another day we could have scored 8 or 9. Me and myself could have scored a few more. You know, other players had chances, but yeah.
It's a really good point because before, obviously, the first goal, you hit the post, had one disallowed, then got your first goal in about 2.5 minutes. It was just blood and thunder, end to end. It was crazy.
No, yeah, like I said, it was a game, exciting game, loads of chances. But yeah, we need to get win more games, and thankfully we got 3 points today.
4 incredible goals, 4 very different goals. Tell us about the free kick though for the hat trick, because that was something special.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a bit too far out, but clearly it wasn't.
And where does that rank among the best you've scored?
Yeah, up there, definitely.
An amazing afternoon, an incredible atmosphere. What does this do for the bond between the players and the fans?
Yeah, you know, the fans were top. They're always good, to be fair, so hopefully we put performances like that and they keep singing.
It was an incredible performance. How much are you enjoying playing under Enzo Maresca?
Yeah, you know, I know Enzo from obviously my time at City. Everyone knows how much of a good manager he is, and I think everyone will see it too.
And the open, expansive, attacking play, and there are so many attacking threats in this team, aren't there?
Yeah, there's loads of players, even the ones that are not starting, like everyone knows what they're doing, so yeah, it's good.
Early days, but do you feel like you're building some momentum here this season?
Yeah, if we keep winning, we keep building, so that's what we're trying to do.
Now, Everton's Premier League game against Crystal Palace on Saturday provided an insight into why football is so often called a game of two halves. Behind a half-time of Mark Guéhi's opener following a poor showing from their side, Everton supporters jeered their side off the pitch. By full-time, they were dancing in the stands, not only with the result, but in the knowledge that an impending takeover of the club can provide hope both on and off the pitch. Dwight McNeil's second-half double did not just salvage Everton's first victory of the season, but changed the whole mood around Goodison Park.
I think the first 15 minutes were difficult for us. The other team, Wolves, had a week to prepare, and if you have a very good manager like Gary O'Neill, who's tactically really strong, he comes up with a really good game plan, and that's what he did. We were ready.
So let's hear those goals from today's match between Everton and Crystal Palace.
Wharton goes long. Guéhi! And Crystal Palace have an early lead. And it's their captain who snuck in to score. It's a setback for Everton, who are going to have to try and come from behind because it's Crystal Palace who hit the front. Ashley Young for Dwight McNeil. McNeil! What a goal! Magnificent! Spectacular! And just what Everton needed right at the start of the second half. A game changer and a mood changer at Goodison. Lovely take from Harrison. Lovely cross to McNeil again! Well, he's a man on a mission. He's Dwight McNeil. And Everton have come up with a comeback of their own, having been on the receiving end of those lately.
Now, Raul Jimenez scored his 50th Premier League goal with a clinical penalty as Fulham's impressive start to the season continued with a victory at Nottingham Forest.
It is Raul Jimenez who brings up 50 Premier League goals, and Fulham lead on their travels for the first time this season. Red hot Raul Jimenez continues to find the back of the net It's 9 goals in his last 10 Premier League starts, and Fulham lead at the City Ground.
Now, Mohamed Salah's penalty sent Liverpool back to the top of the Premier League as they beat Wolves 2-1.
Canate! A moment to cherish for Ibrahima Canate. He scored for Liverpool before, but never in the Premier League before. And Canate, and Forbes is in there! That just shows how surprising football can be, because having not threatened at all, Wolves finally show their teeth. Salah to try and restore Liverpool's lead here, which he does. Well, after the setback comes the quick recovery from Liverpool, who found a firm foundation for victory again.
Now, Liverpool manager Arne Slot says they should have ended the game with a clean sheet.
I think the first 15 minutes were difficult for us. The other team, Wolves, had a week to prepare, and if you have a very good manager like Gary O'Neill, who's tactically really strong, he comes up with a really good game plan, and that's what he did. We were ready for this. You always have to wait what he then exactly does, but he overloaded our right side in a good manner, which made it difficult for us to control the game in the first 15 to 20 minutes. Then when it lied down a bit, the energy went away, and maybe a bit the game. And for me, it wasn't a surprise the moment we scored a goal, but I think because I thought that in those moments we were getting better and better. We got a big chance with Dominic Szoboszlai. And I was almost surprised that we conceded the second half, because I felt that in the second half we had much more control than in the first half. But yeah, we conceded a goal that was avoidable, let's put it that way.
Top of the league after 6 games. I mean, it's a great start for you. I mean, did you expect to be top so early on?
Yeah, but it's almost ideal that we play Wolves today, because we are top, they are last, and they absolutely don't deserve to be last, because they had a very difficult fixture list, and I've seen many games of them, and they did, in almost every game they deserved more. And you could even argue today, because it wasn't like we were so much better than them. They were in the game, doing a lot of good things. So they will, if they keep doing this against other teams as well, they will never end up number 20. And we still have to prove, if we come across against Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea, and which other fixture they had? Aston Villa. If we can then still be up there with Champions League games included as well.
Like, does it give a psychological lift to yourself, players around the club, when you are top rather than chasing?
I think everybody is realistic enough. All the players have so much experience that they understand that in 6 games into the season doesn't give you a realistic view on the league table. That is more like in 19 games, then you can really feel, okay, where are we? But of course it helps if you get some good results, especially if you bring in a new manager and a new staff, and being a successor of such a successful one. And then, of course, everybody understands that if we would have lost 4 or 5 out of these first 6 fixtures, that life would have been a bit different than it is now.
Is Andy Robertson late on? Is that a big problem that he came up with?
I don't expect this to be a big problem, although you never know. But I think he just got a knock, and end phase of the game. Maybe he was a bit tired as well, because. The guy who came in, Forbes, I knew him of course from the Dutch competition. He made it a real fight for him as well. Yeah, got a bit of a knock, but I'm expecting him to be in training Monday again. But let's wait.
Being top of the league now, if it stays that way, how will you keep your players level-headed?
If it stays this way, I don't have to keep them level-headed. But to keep it that way, that's probably what you mean. I don't think it's necessary for me to convince the players what all the challenges we still face. So I said it a few times now in different press moments today. 2 years ago was the last time we played Champions League, and we all know what kind of a season that was. And last season we had much better season. But then every time Virgil and all these other players got some rest during the week and could play once a week. So that's a completely different situation than play Champions League during the week against a very tough and hard opponent, and then play Arsenal, and then play Aston Villa, and then play all these top teams that we are going to face and after the next international break. So for us, there's still, I've said it many times, a lot to prove, especially if you look back at the season 2 years ago. And it's still almost completely the same group.
Now in tomorrow's fixtures, Ipswich Town play Aston Villa and Manchester United play Tottenham. With that, we take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Are you ready for a patio makeover you can afford? Then come to Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills in Montego Bay. We now offer a new line of beautiful, truly affordable furniture that will make your outdoor space look amazing. And you won't find it anywhere else at these prices. Get that high-end look that is sure to impress, easy in-store financing, and island-wide delivery options too at Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills, Witter Village Mall, Montego Bay, and ParadisePatioJamaica.com.
Gonna win? Punchinella, little fella. Tasty beats, summer promotion there. Who's gonna win this $1 million? You have a chance to win, my you just follow. Win $1 million in the Tasty Beat summer promotion. Purchase any Tasty Cheese product for a chance to enter. Find our Tasty Beat flyer, scan the QR code, upload your receipt with your Tasty Cheese, fill in the other details, and that's it. Plus each week, win $60,000 and other small prizes from Tasty Cheese. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Afternoon and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric We're working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We're talking with the head coach of the Cayman Islands Football Club, Mr. Joey Thong. Joey, good evening and welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you, Alric. Thank you for inviting me.
Let's jump right into it. The Cayman Islands, they'll be playing their third match come next month in the CONCACAF Nations League. But before that, tell me, how would you describe your team and the style of play?
Well, as you might know, my team is a combination of certain players with experience and a lot of players who are very young. For example, my goalkeeper just turned 18, so it's a young team, but already with some experiences. We went to Turkey. We had a friendly match against Moldova. So we got a good experience. We have won our World Cup qualification game, also a good experience. Our last game we lost, and with losing you also learn. So that's also a new experience for us. So yeah, we are preparing against for the game against the two teams, PPI and St. Kitts for the second time. We are working hard, and our style of football is as much as possible with not so much dribbling, two-touch system, and we have to grow in it. So we have a lot to learn.
Like you said, you'll be playing the British Virgin Islands for the second time come next month. In your opening encounter in this tournament, you would have faced them and beat them 1-0 in the Cayman Islands. Tell me what you would have learned from that game that you'll be taking into this match to ensure that you come out with another positive result.
Yes, what we have learned is that we have to finish better. Because if you have watched the game, we could have won with 3-0, and they didn't really have much chances. And and especially what I also said is the sublime end pass. The sublime end pass, we have to do it better. The sublime end pass, that the pass before the finishing. That's how we call it back in Holland and Belgium. So those things we have to perform better, and I have confidence.
And I know football is a team sport, but however, when you look at this BVI team, who are some of the players that you will be encouraging your team to keep a close eye on? Because if they should get going, then they could hurt the Cayman Islands football team.
Yes, I know, but I don't want to focus on one or two individual players. We have a system that we focus on the whole collective and not only a few players, because you never know if these players will play yes or no. You never know what can happen a few days before the game. So if you're going to focus on one or two top players and you build your team around it, then you might be surprised. So let us focus on the whole team, the whole system they play. They play. I must say they have a good defense. They have a good block system. So we have to see how to get through that block. And if we're going to focus on one or two players, no, that's not our style.
You'll be going into this game off the back of a 4-0 defeat by St. Kitts and Nevis. However, the BVI team, they have lost both games they have played so far. Are you confident, or you are telling your players to keep focus for the entire 90 minutes?
Yeah, of course. To recover, we didn't lose 4-0, but we lost 4-1. In the first half, it was 3-0. We didn't play good. We got actually an offside goal, and that influenced the mentality of our young players. And we came back good in the second half. We got the one goal against us in the second half that was really a bump goal that was not really outplayed much, and we scored a terrific goal in the first 6 minutes of the second half, and after that we had another chance, and yeah, if we would have scored that one, we would be back in the game with 3-2, would be a total different result. Other than that, sure, we must not let us be influenced by failures of level of referees, to say it like that, because it was really an offside goal. And yeah, of course, you cannot blame the referees because we don't have the VAR system. And yeah, that would be very beneficial if we had a VAR system. And yeah, so I'm confident for both games. And of course, you're right. You must, with confidence, also you have to be focused the whole 90 minutes.
Tell me, what are you saying to your players now, as you go into the third match, to keep their spirits high, to keep them motivated, to put the 4-0 loss behind them, 4-1 I should say, loss behind them, but to move ahead and look and say that, okay, this is a new game, this is a new opportunity to shine. What are you saying to your players to keep the spirits high?
Yes, first of all, we must cherish what we are doing. You know, life goes fast. You must have really pleasure in the passion you have, and this is the passion of all of us. Football is our passion. So enjoy everything what you do. Don't let your emotions get negatively ruined by situations you can handle. That's the basic thing. And also, we must learn from and a win and a lose. We must learn from both of them. What can we do better? What can we do better in the winning, after the winning game? What can we do better when we have lost? We focus on those failures and tactically make improvements. And when you prepare well, then the relaxing feeling will come and the confidence will come. But always stay focused. And that's what we're doing. We are also doing team building things, doing things together with each other, like fitness. So yeah, we can only prepare the best as we can.
We're speaking with Joey Yaptong, head coach of the Cayman Islands football team. Yaptong, when you look at your team, you played your first two games at home. You'll be traveling now for the remaining games. How much will that play on your team?
I've seen some matches of, for example, St. Kitts, and I've seen that football lives over there. I've seen a match that people were standing outside the stadium supporting, that's going to be a good beneficial support for some kids and nephews. I'm aware of that. We are all aware of that. But it might also give us a good support because we will play in a certain pressure circumstances, and we must get the energy from that as well. It's going to be new for us. We won't have that much support as what we have when we play at home. But we should draw it in a positive energy way and adapt it and enjoy it and give us a sort of spirit as well, the same as they did with the same thing. So we try to switch everything from negative to positive.
Playing in any competition, the main aim is to win. But what are some of the other goals that you're setting for this team? You want to see their fitness, you want to see their sharpness. What are some of the other goals that you're setting for this team?
I want that we grow mentally, that we have elasticity. If we get, you cannot always win. That's life. Yeah, the best team in the world also lose from time to time. So we have to accept when we lose that we learn from it. We have to grow, and it's a young team. So give us time, give us the space, give us the opportunities to learn, to grow, to educate, and then you will see what come out of it. It's a young team. We have a lot of opportunities to grow. We have the means. We have here very good support from the Football Federation. They do everything what is possible for us, and yeah, we have all means what is necessary. So I think that is very important, and yeah, the goal is of course to make a top team now growing towards a top team. That's the goal.
Earlier you mentioned that you have a mixture of youth and experienced players. Tell me how important it is for the experienced players to act as role models to guide the younger players as you go through this tournament.
Yes, even the experienced players are not that old. They're also actually very young, but still experienced. And they give a good guidance to the younger players. And the younger players, they look up and they take that example. And that's a good thing, especially when you have a team that is very coachable. And that's the main thing. It's a coachable team. And that's how we profit and how we learn and grow, because they are hungry to learn, yes, and very intelligent, and that's the main thing. And I'm not talking even about their technical qualities, their technical abilities. So yeah, it's a good combination. Most of them are young, but it's a good combination.
How available is your team as it relates to you getting them to coach and guide in the build-up to this match? For example, when you look at the Rugby boys, they only gather for a couple of days before the match because most of the players play overseas. Is it like that, or you have your team located in the Cayman Islands?
Okay, if you look at the Rugby boys, for example, Leon Bailey, the Rugby boys play at a high level. We don't have a player yet who play on the level of Aston Villa. We don't have that yet. So, but we have young players who play at university, college in the US, and we have school. And that's not easy to let them come in time for training preparation, like 2 weeks or a week. No, they also come a few days before the match. So we have the same situation. So it's a short period. We have the whole team to make the preparation. And we have also players who are still on the island. So I think I don't know if the Rugby boys, all of them are playing overseas, but we have certain players who don't play overseas as well. So, but yeah, as I said, it's the same situation. You have to be prepared a few days before the match. That's not easy always,
How much of a challenge is it to get the team to understand your philosophy and go out on the pitch?
When I went with the team to Turkey, it was actually great part of the under 20s. And it was the same situation. We had only a few days, and that's where I got the confidence, because I saw in a short period how they adapt, how they get the tactic very fast. So that's what I'm saying. I already said it. Intelligent play. So I have really good confidence to get out of the team in short periods. And don't forget, these are short periods, but we have already have some experience before with short periods. So all these short periods accumulated, it's a longer period. So every short period, we learn and we grow. So the next short period, we have already a certain basis. That's how it works. And of course, if you don't change the team, but that's important. If you don't change the whole squad, but sometimes you have one or two changes because of situation with yellow cards, or player is injured, or player is not allowed to come from the college. So we deal with those problems as well. But still, we continue.
What's the support like amongst the Cayman community, especially now that you'll be traveling? Will you be having a strong contingent traveling to support the team?
Actually, that's going to be also a first experience for us. Although in 2018, I must say, I have had already the experience to travel with the team. But back then, I was also together with Coach Albert, coach of the national team. We went to Jamaica, and actually we got the support from the Jamaican crowd. So yes. And when we went to Turkey, we were only with the staff, and there was no support of supporters there. So that was very far. I don't know how it will be now. Jamaica is not that far of Turkey. So we hope that some supporters will fly with us and give us the support in the tribune, in the stances, because in kids they will. In kids people, they will support that team. We need it as well. But as I said, we can also get the energy from the supporters give their team. Yeah, we can get energy from that as well. Fighting spirit. So, but yeah, to answer your question, I really don't know. I really hope there will be some Caymanians eventually who live in St. Kitts and Nevis and come support us. We need the support. But other than that, if it's not, we have to deal without it.
This is a platform that allows the players to showcase their talents. Have you seen interest from scouts, from international clubs wanting your players to represent their club?
Definitely. Yeah, especially when we were in Turkey, European clubs. Yes. I cannot say a lot about that, of course, but yes, there is definitely interest. But they feel it's a young team. They see how coachable they are. They see how the tactic is, and yes, we have. And that's what I'm saying. I always say, look, we don't have the players like the level of Aston Villa. Who else do we have? Players on the Premier League. Yet, that's why I say yet, but it will come. Don't worry, it will come. And maybe sooner than we all think.
And I'm sure one of your quests is for your team to move up to League B.
Yeah, that would be great, of course. With all the respect for the level of St. Kitts and Nevis, they play a good system. They are very experienced players together, older than us, very fast, moving forward. Yeah, we learn from that as well. So, yeah, we have to beat them in the numbers. That's not going to be easy. But there is a will, there is a way. Don't say things are impossible. Everything is possible what you want or what you focus on. So I'm not saying that's not impossible, but yeah, they have a good team, very strong. So we must be strong and good as well. So everything is possible. You know, the ball is round. My grandfather used to say, the ball is round, so everything can happen.
Finally, let me give you this opportunity just to speak with those who have been supporting the team so far and encourage others to come on board and give their support.
You mean the people here surrounding
the
us?
fans, the fans.
The fans, yes. Actually, the fans in the stands were really great, singing and football started to live again in Cayman, and I want to thank all of them, and hopefully they might have the possibility to travel with us or support us in front of the TV and give us a positive vibe.
Okay, Joey Upton, head coach of the Cayman Islands football team. Thanks much for speaking with us, and we wish you and the team all the best.
Thank you very much, Alex, for inviting me, and hope to talk to you soon again.
It was my pleasure. Joey Upton, head coach of the Cayman Islands. We take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Escape to the tranquility of Spur Tree HomeAway Villas, a placid getaway featuring 3 unique accommodations. The spacious main house offers 6 aesthetically pleasing designed bedrooms, 3.5 baths, smart lock access, and modern amenities like smart TVs. Enjoy the cozy 2-bedroom suite with private baths, or retreat to the intimate 1-bedroom suite. Relax by the pool or explore Spur Tree HomeAway Villas. Book with us today. Contact 347-307-3732 or 646-824-5232.
Good health starts with proper hydration. Hydrate your body with Hydrate. Hydrate is purified natural water from rocks 110 feet below the ground. You have never tasted water so great, yet so affordable. Yes, taste and experience it for yourself. Water at its best. Hydrate. Available also as purified alkaline water and ultra-purified distilled water. Bottled by LLNSCS Limited, a subsidiary of Max Pharmaceuticals. Call 876-983-6466.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Sports Nation Live. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. It's evening now. I am Alric Straby and we are inside the NFL, the Jerome Grids Iron, and let's hear, I guess, come next week, that's the first where Jerome was wrong. This Washington game, right?
No. This will be where Jerome was right. There's no way I can be wrong about this game. Cincinnati.
You know what's interesting? Jerome doesn't have a team. So until Jerome has a team, he can't really talk.
If Cincinnati wins this game this week, if Washington Commanders win this game this week, on Saturday I wear a Liverpool jersey. That's how confident I am.
I guess
if Cincinnati loses this game, if Cincinnati loses game next week Saturday, I'll be in a Liverpool jersey. Right here.
He's looking for a team. He's looking for a team because we hear him saying that he's no longer Man U supporter. He's looking for a team.
You hear me say, what is a Man U? That's what he heard me say.
But remember, I will be reminding you come Monday of what you just said.
If Washington wins that game next week Saturday, I'm in a Liverpool jersey right here next week. So tune in.
We're good to go. If Joe Burrow gets hurt in the first quarter and we still win, it's still a win, correct?
A win is a win. A win is a win.
Okay, all right. I just checking. I don't want any excuse. You said it here first.
I have it on tape. I'm gonna ask Kevin to cut out that segment and put it down because we will be replaying it come Saturday. Okay, I'm just wondering who won that game, but I see Jerome I can't see he's wearing a Liverpool jersey. He has
Alright,
the
my bet is
Liverpool
a bet.
jersey.
I'm honoring my bet.
No,
For
that's
all
not honoring. You have the Liverpool jersey hang around you like baby dribbler, like where you're just teaching baby to eat. So we can't even see the logo properly. You're defaming the Liverpool jersey.
Not a real logo, but I'm honoring my bet.
No, that is not honoring
Ladies
the
and
bet.
gentlemen, I've lost fair and square, and I'm honoring my bet. I'm honoring my debt.
He's not wearing the Liverpool jersey.
If you log onto the YouTube page, you'll see me
you're
clearly
dishonoring the
my
club.
Liverpool gear.
But like I told you last week, that is the first where Jerome was wrong, and I wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
So let me hand over to Jerome for.
Let me take this thing off my shirt because this thing, you know, I'm allergic to Liverpool, so I've lost the bet, and I've honored my debt.
And as of today, you'll never walk alone.
I'm good. I'd prefer to walk alone. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Remy, you're on.
Oh yeah, I am.
I'm sure you're feeling good.
Oh me? No, not really.
No. Your Washington Commanders beating the Cincinnati Bengals last week on Monday Night Football. You seem like you have a franchise quarterback. That must be a good feeling.
You know, it's a better feeling. Hearing you eat your words. That's a better feeling. You dismissed.
No. First of all, you were also wrong because you had Cincinnati. You had Cincinnati win the game, so don't come here on your high horse. No.
Hold on.
You had Cincinnati winning the game, so don't come with it.
No. Relax. Take a breath. Step back. Take a breath. I said Washington was going to make that game close.
Yeah, man.
You, on the other hand, you scoffed at what I said and you completely dismissed Washington, giving them no chance.
No chance.
Yes, I can rub it in your face. Yes, I can.
Okay, well, both of us lost. So, I mean, that was where Jerome was wrong. But so let's jump into some more of where Jerome was wrong. I mean, I'm quick to admit when I'm wrong, right? And you and I would have had this conversation some time ago, and you cautioned me to not be as excited. Trevor Lawrence. When Trevor Lawrence came out, I said that Trevor Lawrence seemed like he is the closest thing to Peyton Manning. He is the closest thing to Andrew Luck. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, he's struggling badly, Remy. I mean, I know you're going to gloat now. I'm going to give you the floor to gloat. But it can't be this bad. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he lost his first game as a quarterback while in the NFL. He was unbeaten through high school. He was unbeaten through college. He lost his first game in the NFL. But since then, it's been putrid. How bad is Trevor Lawrence?
Well, I don't believe in the overreactions. I wouldn't say that he's putrid, but I just don't think Trevor Lawrence is good. And I think one of the issues with Trevor Lawrence is it's not the talent. The talent is there. You don't get picked first overall. You don't have the success that he had in college without the talent. I think the issue with Trevor Lawrence can be linked to a statement he made earlier on where he came out and he said that he's not obsessed with football. Football is not the end-all and be-all team. And if you look at the history of the quarterback position, the great quarterbacks are football junkies. So much so that sometimes some of them have sacrificed their wives and families. They have given up a lot in other aspects of their life to be great in this pursuit. And he's just not that guy. And I think it is starting to show on the field. I think he has a good coach in Doug Peterson. He has a good enough supporting cast. So I think what's happening is I think there's some apprehension. I think there's a lack of dedication. Trevor Lawrence is not making the throws that are there, and sometimes he makes some throws that are just inexplicable. The interception he threw to DeMar Hamlin is one of the biggest. You just have to roll your eyes. Like there's just no way that should happen. The ball sailed over the receiver's head. It's the easiest interception DeMar Hamlin will ever have.
Yeah, the confidence is just not there.
I am not sure. I would guess that, it's not a talent thing. I think it's a psychological thing, and it is probably a lack of being all in with Trevor Lawrence. That is my take.
Yeah, it's really bad. It is really, really, really bad. Where Jerome was wrong. When Jordan Love went down, I thought the Packers season was over. You know what I mean? I said, the fat lady is singing. If Jordan Love was out anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks, I could see them going 0-4 in that stretch. especially given the fact that Malik Willis was there 2 weeks before that. He's looked like a franchise quarterback in the last 2 games. Maybe for some reason, if he continues to win like this, Green Bay will have a quarterback controversy. But that's probably hyperbole. But are you surprised at how good Malik Willis has played in place of Jordan Love? And is that more about him playing well, or is it more about the coaching staff of the Green Bay Packers?
Well, to answer your first question, am I surprised that Malik Willis is playing well? Yeah, somewhat. But at the same time, to get into the other part of your question, most of the quarterbacks succeed based on, scheme, play calling, and head coach. And Matt LaFleur has proven that he can develop a quarterback. He did a great job with Jordan Love last year, and what he has done with Malik Willis is play to his strengths, call some simple pass plays and take advantage of his athleticism. And the Packers' defense has been flying below the radar since week 1. So no, I'm not surprised. I expected Malik Willis to come out and be decent. I didn't think he would fall apart. The irony is, if Malik Willis was probably still in Tennessee, I don't think he'd be as good. So Matt LaFleur is showing his class in developing the quarterbacks. I mean, they do have their hands full, this Sunday.
Yeah, where Jerome was wrong, the Pittsburgh Steelers is 3-0. I don't even know. I don't even know how. I don't even know why. I don't. The right now the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh, I don't even know if they have a number 1 quarterback right now. I mean, I think they're going to stay with Justin Fields. Mike Tomlin has not committed the starting position to Justin Fields, but he's 3-0. I don't know how you pull him after being 3-0. How can Pittsburgh continue to do this? They're averaging 15 points a game and they're 3-0. I know I ask this question every week, and I'll continue to ask it. How sustainable is this? Like, how sustainable is this?
Well, I'll tell you this. As we all know, it's a week-to-week league, and if you look at who Pittsburgh has had to play, and I'm not taking anything away from the Steelers' defense. I mean, they've proven their pedigree over the years. But they haven't exactly gone through a murderer's row of quarterbacks. I mean, who they had in week 1? They had Kirk Cousins. I don't remember who they had in week 2. I know they had Justin Herbert, and they knocked him out of the game. And then Sunday, they have Anthony Richardson. So I think the Steelers, the defense has had the edge against their opposing quarterbacks. But the thing is, Justin Fields is getting better every week. Oh, they had Bo Nix in week 2 in Denver. So Justin Fields is getting better every week. So I expect the Steelers' offense to improve. I mean, and that defense is something special. They bring a lot of physicality, intimidation, typical Pittsburgh Steelers football. So do I think they're going to average 15 points a game the rest of the season? No. I think they'll be able to get into the mid-20s. They'll probably have the occasional, 30-point game. But the way that their defense is playing, I say if this team gets to, 24 points, I think they win most of those games.
Yeah, this was where Jerome was right. I remember last week on air, I switched my pick while we were on and said that Pittsburgh win most of these games just because of how they play. Yeah. And like you say, it's a week-to-week league, and they're going to be in most games just by the way how the Steelers, the culture of the Steelers, they're going to be in most games. You won't see Pittsburgh being blown out in any game. But it's just the way it's happening. Do you stay with Justin Fields for the rest of the season? If you
I don't see why not. I mean, if you're winning with him and he's playing well, I mean, he's not turning the ball over. He's a better athlete than Russell Wilson at this stage, and he is younger. I don't see any reason to make the change. I mean, I think he got a raw deal in Chicago. I mean, it's so funny hearing the excuses that are coming out of Chicago for Caleb Williams. I mean, Justin Fields never got those excuses. But I think that in a system where you have Arthur Smith as the play caller, who did a good job with Ryan Tannehill, similar setup, game manager type QB with some athleticism and a running game, I expect Fields to flourish. And, Pittsburgh actually do have some weapons on the outside. They have a decent tight end. Let's just be patient. Let's not expect him to, light it up right away and just, bring him along while the defense is there, holding the fort and winning the game, so to speak. I do expect the Steelers to be, good this year.
Are the Cincinnati Bengals done? At 0-3, I mean, they've played a tough I wouldn't even say a tough. They've had a tough start to the season. I mean, we've seen historically bad starts, but 0-3, you don't come back from 0-3. Should we put a fork in the Cincinnati Bengals right now?
I don't think they're done at 0-3. It does make it a steep climb, especially when you have yet to play, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and the Browns. I mean, I think, you're looking at 3-3. They probably split if they're lucky. If their defense plays better, they could possibly go 4-2. But it's a 17-game season, so that means that they have 14 games left. If Cincinnati wins 9, go 9-5 the rest of the way, that put them at 9-8. They could sneak in as a wild card team. So no, the Bengals have a lot to play for. I don't think they're done.
All right. I mean, it's a tough hill. It's an uphill climb from here, as you said. 0-3.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they lose on Sunday to Carolina, well, I'd say that's a wrap.
And actually, a little preview. I have Carolina winning that game because that's the Andy Dalton, sweepstakes, and he looked good last week. He lit up that team. That team looks completely different under Andy Dalton. I mean, it's night and day how different they looked when
the Raiders were just unprofessional. That's what that was.
I don't know, but where Jerome was wrong last week. Carolina went into Vegas and they came to play, and Andy Dalton lit them up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and going back home in Carolina, Andy Dalton, his old stomping ground, Cincinnati Bengals coming home. I could see Cincinnati going 0-4. I could easily see that.
Well, let's not confuse Gardner Minshew with Joe Burrow. All right, let's not do that. Let's not confuse, the Raiders' offensive weapon what Cincinnati has. T. Higgins got his feet wet. Jamar Chase is showing everybody that he's Jamar Chase.
Washington should never have beaten Cincinnati. New England Patriots should never have beaten Cincinnati. When are we gonna wake up and say that Cincinnati is not that good? You've lost to New England Patriots week 1 at home. You lose to the Washington Commanders at home. They lost a close game to Kansas City. They get up for those games.
Mm-hmm.
But the 2 or the 3 games that they lost, they have no business losing to those teams.
Well, hold on a second.
New England is a bottom 2 team in the league.
No, let's pump the brakes on that. I hear what you're saying, but let's be fair. Week 1, we all agree that the hardest week to pick is one of the hardest weeks to pick of the whole season is week 1 because we don't know anything about the team and anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's throw week 1 out the window. I agree. They should have beaten the Patriots. Everybody thought that they should have beat New England, and if they played New England tomorrow, they'd beat them. All right. Week 2, they played Cincinnati. They played the Chiefs. They lost. Close game, questionable, but hey, they like you said, they get up for those games. Week 3, they lose to Washington. Now,
at home.
Who is to say Washington isn't good? I'm not saying they are, but who is to say Washington is 2-1? That does count for something.
Yeah, but rookie quarterback, new head coach, like Cincinnati have all the continuity. They have all the weapons. They have the defense. Like they can't stop anybody right now. They have not made a stop when they need to, at all. I think it's 2 straight games they haven't forced a punt. Like.
No, Washington hasn't punted in 2 straight games.
Yeah, well, something like that. But
it's not something like that. That's what happened. Yeah.
But Cincinnati couldn't force a punt against a rookie quarterback.
Well, here's the thing. When you have a rookie quarterback playing in a new scheme that other teams haven't seen, and I think I said it to you last week that Cliff Kingsbury is slowly opening up the playbook. From what I saw in that game, there were just some things that, Jaden Daniels played a great game. But you could also tell that, the way that Cliff Kingsbury called the game, he had the Bengals defense off balance the whole game. So, yes, I don't think the Bengals defense is playing well at this moment. They're playing below what they normally do. But at the same time, you really have to give Cliff Kingsbury a lot of credit for he called that game.
Yeah, but the Patriots moved the ball on them really at will. They ran the ball. Ramondre Stevenson 143 yards in that game. Kansas City moved the ball at will. On them, they're not forcing any stops, and then it's not like Joe Burrow lighting it up. So you know what I mean? We see Jamar Chase had a big game last week. They're not getting anything out of the running game. You know what I mean? They gave up.
They ran the ball well against Washington. Washington's defense is not good. Not right now. But they ran the ball well.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The 0-3 and you're not winning your layups. It's gonna be a road because there are no gimmies in the NFC North. There are no gimmies. There are no free games in the NFC North.
Carolina not winning that game on Sunday. Guarantee you that.
All right, wear the Liverpool jersey. Anyway, let's jump into these games this week. Thursday night we had Dallas beating the Giants, a really close game. Giants was driving at the end to possibly win that game. I mean, Dallas escaped, but you know, I mean, we should not be surprised. The Dallas Cowboys own the Giants. I think they're like 7-1 with Dak Prescott against Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones sucked. I mean, did you take anything away from that game? Are you impressed by the Dallas Cowboys? Did that performance took the taste of the beatdown they got from Baltimore the week before?
No, I think the Cowboys are who I have them to be. I think they're an overrated, overhyped team, and I think that if the Giants were able to execute better in the red zone, they would have beaten the Cowboys. I don't really see much in this game. Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott, I thought, were both very efficient. They took care of the ball. They made good decisions for the most part, you know. But, you know, I actually had the Giants. That was one of my sneaky underdog picks. I had the Giants in that game. I knew they would play the Cowboys close. And you know, the Giants looked good playing the Browns the week before. But am I surprised that Dallas beat the Giants? No. I mean, they've had the Giants number, this is 7 straight wins over the Giants now. Yeah. So I'm not surprised at all. The interesting thing about this game, though, is that the Giants were only able to rush for 25 yards.
They have no running game.
I mean, exactly, you know. So, you know, they gave away some guy. What's his name? I think he plays for Philly now. Barkley, I think his name is. Saquon Barkley would have made a difference in a game like that.
Yeah,
so,
they had him for like 6 years. He didn't.
Yeah,
so,
you know. So
they're not missing anything.
Let's see what happens to them moving forward.
All right. So let's pick some games this week. So Atlanta Falcons host New Orleans Saints. New Orleans lost their first game last week. Atlanta, one of those teams everybody had penciled in the playoffs. They have not started the way everybody thought they would have. They are 1-2. You have a New Orleans team coming in hungry, divisional game. Those games can go anyway. I'm leaning Atlanta. What say you?
Yeah, same here. I'm leading Atlanta purely because it's, like I said, division game. They're playing in Atlanta. I think the Falcons have been sneaky competitive. I mean, I know they're 1-2, but they have been in all the games. I mean, they could have easily beaten the Chiefs on Sunday night. I mean, that game was very, very competitive, a very good game. I think New Orleans has come back to earth, and I think, you know, that is one of the biggest, you know, grudge matches in the NFC South. So I'm going to go with the Falcons at home.
All right. The Rams last week, you know, one of the biggest upsets we've seen in a long time.
Better believe it.
Came back and beat the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams riddled with injuries. That game was, you can call that game the body bag game last week. But the Rams showed some heart and showed some mettle and came back to beat the San Francisco 49ers at home, even though that game seemed like it was a road game. But they traveled to Chicago to take on a Chicago Bears team that is desperate for an identity. Caleb Williams is desperate to show that he is deserving of that first overall pick because he has not really played well. Got 2 touchdowns last week, showed some promise, but he has not lived up to the hype. Is this the coming out party for Caleb Williams?
I actually have the Rams winning this game.
So do I.
I'm just gonna go with the fact that, you know, Matthew Stafford is worlds better and more experienced than Caleb Williams. Obviously, Sean McVay is a great head coach. They'll find a way to, you know, scheme up, you know, getting receivers. No Cooper Kupp, no Puka. It didn't matter. I mean, the Rams are going to win this game, and I think the fact that, you know, Caleb Williams in front of that Chicago crowd playing at home, one would think that would be to his advantage. I think that will actually be to his disadvantage, as he might want to, you know, press some more. And if he doesn't play well, don't be surprised if the Boo Birds come out early.
Let's see. They are a 3-point favorite in the game, so I mean, Vegas think that they are the better team.
Vegas has been wrong before.
Yeah. So 2 teams that are, I would say, ascending. The Green Bay Packers host the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota has looked good. Sam Darnold has looked good, but so has the Packers. But something has to give in this game. This game will be played in Green Bay. I have Green Bay winning just because they are playing at home, even though I'm not 100% confident in the pick, because Minnesota has shown me all season so far that first game is not a fluke. I mean, but I like what I'm seeing from the Green Bay Packers and that offense, and the defense have been flying around. I think Minnesota get their first L, but I'm not very confident about it. What say you?
This is one of the hardest games of the week to pick, for the reasons that you stated. I mean, both defenses are playing well. As a matter of fact, I would not be surprised if either team don't reach 20 points. That's the type of game I'm expecting. I think the MVP of this game will be Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator of the Vikings, because he has really had that defense playing at a high level, So I don't know. I think I'm going to lean towards the home team. I really like what Matt LaFleur has been doing, and I'm going to stick my neck out and take the Packers in a low-scoring game. They'll just get their neck over the line, but it's one of these games that could truly, truly go either way.
Yeah, agreed. Pittsburgh fly to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Pittsburgh, again, averaging 15 points a game.
You need to leave that
holding opponents. Like, I just can't believe it. I just don't know how you win like that. But I think they win again this week because Andrew Richardson has really not translated so far to the NFL with consistency. He's not throwing the ball with incredible accuracy, and that team is struggling offensively right now. And Jonathan Taylor has been the bright spark on that team. But run game can work. But against a Pittsburgh Steelers team who's gonna take away the run, he's gonna have to pass the ball. I don't see him do it. I think Pittsburgh win another low scoring one.
Yeah, I tend to. I agree with you on that. I do think though that this game is going to be very close, despite Anthony Richardson not being able to, hit his passes regularly enough. I mean, he's a phenomenal physical specimen and him have all the attributes and the tools, but I think it's a bad matchup for him against a dominant Steelers defense. So I expect Pittsburgh winning ways to continue.
Yeah, the New York Jets host the Denver Broncos. So it's in Nuggets. Jets find a way to win their third.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they have the extra rest coming off of, they played last week Thursday night. Once again, team flying from west to east. I don't think Denver went all the way back to Denver, so I could be mistaken on that. But I like the Jets at home. I think that team is starting to gel and come together. I really like what the Broncos defense did last week, but I just don't think it continues here in New York. I like Aaron Rodgers. I like how the Jets offense is coming together. Jets defense, I'm thinking, is fired up. They're looking at this as a opportunity to get some momentum going. So I think I'll take the Jets at home.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers host a Philadelphia Eagles team who escaped with a win last week. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley is the reason that team continues to win. I mean, I don't know if it's sustainable, but he has played outside of his skin the last couple of games. Jalen Hurts, this team, I don't think Devontae Smith is playing. I don't think AJ Brown is playing. I mean, they are down to just throwing to tight ends and running back. I think Tampa Bay win at home. I just think Eagles are struggling right now. Eagles are reeling right now. I think Tampa is gaining confidence, and I have Tampa Bay upsetting the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
It's not an upset.
Philly's the favorite. Philly's the favorite in the game.
Not every favorite. I think the spread is like two and a half. Yeah, that's not upset. I tend to agree. I mean, I've gone back and forth on this game because, for the reason that you stated, both Philly started wide receivers, Smith and AJ Brown are out. So you have Goddard and Saquon Barkley. The problem is that Tampa also has some injuries of their own, especially Vita Vea, who is, the heart of that defense. And I'm wondering if Philly can just run their way to a victory. But at the same time, you have Chris Godwin and Mike Evans on the outside, and Philly has looked shaky against the pass, albeit better last week against New Orleans. At Tampa, I guess I'm not too confident picking either team, but I guess I'd go with Tampa.
Yeah, agreed. Again, my upset special this week. The Carolina Panthers hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Carolina find a way to win a second game in a row under Andy Dalton. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals. I know you're saying it's not gonna happen.
No, I just don't see it happening. I mean, I think that, hats off to what Andy Dalton did last week, even though I do think the Raiders being unprofessional and Gardner Minshew and that whole thing, because now I think they might be changing the quarterbacks, but that's further down the show. I just think that, Cincinnati, everything on the line, this is their season. They do have expectations.
That should have been last week. That should have been last week.
It is what it is. I mean, what's done is done. You have to focus on the next game. And I expect Joe Burrow and company to go out there and play like their lives depend on it and win the game.
Well, Andy Dalton will be standing right there waiting for them. The Houston Texans host Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, Jaguars have lost 9 straight games. It's hard to lose 9 straight games in the NFL, especially when you just pay your quarterback $255 million. I mean, they should not be this bad. The Houston Texans were embarrassed last week by a Minnesota team that punched them in the face. They should be able to get back to winning ways against a Jacksonville Jaguars team that I don't know. It's just not working, and I'm afraid Doug Peterson might suffer the consequences for it because you can't fire the quarterback. But something's just not right in Jacksonville. Houston, give them 10 straight losses.
I would think so. I mean, this is one of those games where, when I try to analyze games, I look at teams that have been humiliated and embarrassed the week before and see if they're going to bounce back. The problem with this game is that both teams went through a similar fate. I expect the Jags to play a good game. Sir, I don't think they can play any worse than they did on Monday night. But I just think that the Texans are the more talented team, the more cohesive team, the more confident team right now. And I think they win, and I think the Jags lose their 10th in a row. I mean, it's really sad to see because Jacksonville was such a promising team a couple of years ago. But I think the Texans, take care of business in Houston.
Yeah, it's a really bad situation. Arizona hosts Washington. I mean, this is the battle of the short, skinny quarterback. I mean, Jaden Daniels look like
Jaden Daniels is 6'4".
He's short and skinny, but he played well. He definitely played well, and he's gonna be tested this week against that Arizona Cardinals team that's flying around at home. I want to pick Washington in the game, but I'm gonna go with Arizona, who is the home favorite. Not very confident about it, but I think Arizona wins the game. I know you're not going to pick Arizona.
Well, I might surprise you. I'm more objective than you think. I would say this, objectively speaking, picking Arizona is the right thing to do because at the moment, Washington's defense has picked up where they left off last year. They have been absolutely atrocious against the run and the pass. I think that Marvin Harrison Jr., expect him to have a field day. I mean, if Kyler Murray is your fantasy QB, you definitely start him against Washington. The home field advantage, I favor the Cardinals to win this game. I expect this to be one of the more entertaining games of the day. I think a lot of points are going to be on the board. And I think the Cardinals just nip the Commanders.
All right. Don't need to spend too much time on this game. San Francisco should be able to beat New England and beat them handsomely at home. New England, we I think order was restored. We know week 1 was a fluke. They are back to who they are. Is a talent lack. Team.
Talent deficient.
Very, very talent deficient team. Even though I'm playing one of their players in fantasy, but no choice. I don't have any choice.
All I have to say about this game is if San Francisco loses, there's a major problem on that team. That's all I have to say.
Injuries. They are riddled with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the equalizer in this game. They had a 20-point lead against. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was 20 points. I think it was something like 14-point lead.
It was a 14-point lead late against the Rams.
Yeah, and gave that up. I mean, that defense is getting older. I mean, they don't have the pieces that they used to have in the past. Warner is definitely getting a little older. I mean, it's just injuries. It's just injuries. But I don't see New England putting up a fight in this game. The Raiders host Cleveland. I'm not sure why the Raiders is the favorite in this game, but they are favored, even though Cleveland has not really played much better. But I think Cleveland should be able to go in and beat the Raiders.
Agreed. I picked the Browns for this game because I think the best unit of either team is the Cleveland Browns defense, and I expect them to give Gardner Minshew or whoever the Raiders start at quarterback a hard time. Get just enough turnovers, make just of a difference to win the game. So I'm definitely going with the Browns, not looking back.
All right. Justin Herbert is a go against the Chargers, against the Kansas City Chiefs, but I don't see any way he'll be effective against that Chiefs pass rush. Steve Spagnuolo is going to make him run, and if you have an ankle injury and Steve Spagnuolo is the king of blitzing, he has no chance back there. Kansas City getting the W.
Yeah, and I think the Chargers are also beat up. I mean, they've had some injuries as well, and I just think that the Chiefs have been a little suspect offensively. I think this game is going to be closer than people expect, but I'm going to go with the pedigree, the know-how, the finding a way to win by the Chiefs to squeak out a win, field goal or a touchdown game. But Jim Harbaugh's coaching will make the game close, but I fully expect the Chiefs to get the W.
Yeah, and the game of the week this week is going to be Baltimore hosting the Buffalo Bills. Both teams coming off dominating victories. Both teams feeling themselves. Baltimore playing at home needs this win a little bit more than Buffalo, but Buffalo has looked good. They Josh Allen again playing an MVP type season. Lamar Jackson is also putting up numbers. They ran the ball significantly well against the Dallas Cowboys. Derrick Henry finally came up for air, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns, helped my fantasy team to win in week 3.
And that's what's important.
That's all that's important to me. I think Baltimore playing at home should win this game. Not entirely confident about it because the Buffalo Bills are playing unreal football right now, but I'm just gonna go with Baltimore just because they're at home. No other reason.
I'm right there with you. I'm gonna take the Ravens. I think the Bills, as you point out, have looked exceptionally good, almost surprisingly so. I didn't think they would fall off that much, but playing Baltimore in Baltimore is a different proposition. I think this is definitely a step up in class. With the Bills have played definitely their best opposition to date. I think the fact that Derrick Henry is now, finding his footing is going to be the deciding factor in this game. And if you look at the adjustment that the Ravens made against the Cowboys, they're not running Derrick Henry onto the shotgun. They're going old school I formation, have him running downhill. I think that continues, and I think the Ravens win a physical football game that should be very entertaining for Sunday night. I'm squeak out a very narrow win.
Yeah, talking about Sunday night, I don't like this Monday night 2-game concept. It just doesn't work for me. I mean, I think standalone games at nights work. I don't think 2 games on a Monday night work. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. And both games are gonna be bad. to be honest with you, so I might not even watch. Miami hosting the Tennessee Titans is gonna be a bad watch. Miami starting Taylor Huntley at quarterback. It may give them a spark, but the game is gonna be an ugly game. It's not a game that I want to see. But I have Tennessee winning just because they are probably healthier team. Maybe have a little bit more continuity, but I'm not entirely confident about it. I mean, they are favored with Miami playing at home. Taylor Huntley usually plays well, but I mean, I don't know. I just have Tennessee just because.
Well, I have Tennessee as well, and for the simple fact that Tennessee has been competitive in all the games they've played thus far, with the exception of Will Levis playing like him colorblind or playing with butter on his hands every time he get the ball. I expect that trend not to continue in Miami. I think he will take care of the football down there. If you remember last year when the Titans went down to Miami in Monday Night Football, Will Levis was a starter and he had one of his best games last season. So, and on the flip side, I think the Dolphins right now are kind of shell-shocked. Losing Tua, then losing a backup. I know Hundley is a veteran. I think that the Titans' defense is not an easy unit to play against. I think they're very hungry for their first W. So, assuming that Will Levis doesn't turn the ball over, expect a Tennessee Titans victory.
Yeah, it was. I'm not entirely confident about it. And the final game of the week, the Denver Broncos host a Seattle team. I mean, this game.
Detroit Lions.
Detroit hosts a Seattle team. This game should be entertaining if both teams come to play. Both teams have looked good in spurts this season, and they have looked bad in spurts. So, not sure which two teams I'm going to get, but if we get the best version of both teams, this game should be an exciting game. And I'll go with Detroit just because they're playing at home.
Again, I don't like to agree too much with you, Jerome. Kind of worries me, But
it's a Liverpool jersey, man.
Must be that. that's a logical explanation.
We shall never walk alone.
I'll take Detroit. They're my pick to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I also think they're the better team. I think the Seahawks have done very well this season thus far. Detroit definitely is a step up in class for them. I think Detroit has the edge on the line of scrimmage on both ends, both defensive line, both offensive line. I think the Lions will be able to control the game, assuming that Jared Goff doesn't, do Jared Goff things in the wrong moment. I think the Lions will win this game.
Yeah, it's one of those weeks where this is the week that teams can decide. Am I ascending or am I declining? And it's a make or break week for the Detroit, because the Green Bay Packers are playing well, the Minnesota Vikings are playing well, the Chicago Bears have what they believe to be their franchise quarterback. Their defense is flying around. Caleb Williams just need to come to the party. So this division, they can't allow this division to get away from them. Right, because Minnesota doesn't show any signs that they are slowing down. That Brian Flores defense,
they look good.
Looks good. Green Bay doesn't seem like they are going anywhere. So Detroit can't afford to lose this game. They just can't afford to lose this game.
Well, I mean, quickly. I mean, unless Green Bay and Minnesota ends in a tie, if Green Bay would be 3-1. They lose. If the Vikings lose, they'll be 3-1. If the Packers win, they'll be 3-1 also. Mm-hmm. So if Detroit were to lose, they'd be 2-2. So they'd be just one game back, and they still have to play each other.
Exactly.
A lot can happen between now and then.
Yeah. But you don't want to lose ground. You don't want to lose
ground.
No,
definitely. Ideally, you don't want to lose ground, but I'm just saying those head-to-head matchups are going to be something to see this season. I mean, it looks like the NFC North is the best division in the NFC, possibly in the league.
Let's see what happens. But I heard a question this week that really got me thinking. I mean, and finally, if you were a GM today, right, and you had to have Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence, who do you take?
Fields.
Yeah, that one got me. I don't see how. I don't see how I take Justin Fields. Like you mentioned, that upside of Trevor Lawrence is what keeps getting people.
I can tell you very quickly why I would take Justin Fields. Justin Fields' athleticism is such a threat that if you design an offense that includes the zone read and the design run, the defense is forced to play 11-on-11 football. They don't know when you're going to throw the ball. So ultimately, that makes it easier for Justin Fields to throw the ball. So you are actually dictating to the defense what it is that you want them to do. They can't dictate to you. That actually slows teams down from pass rushing because they are afraid of the quarterback's ability to escape, whether it's a design run, quarterback draw, read option, whatever it is. That's football 101. Now, the upside of Trevor Lawrence, I get you. I completely understand. But knowing what I know now or what I see now, right now, I'll take Justin Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields came out this week and said that the coaching in Chicago was really bad. And, that could be what Caleb Williams is experiencing right now in Chicago. I mean, I don't know if Brian Eberflus is the answer. I mean, I really don't know.
Matt Eberflus, he's a defensive coach, and I think the OC is a former Seattle offensive coordinator. I don't remember his name at the moment. So coaching could very well be the issue for Caleb Williams. But one of the things that I see with him, because I watched him play a couple of games, he seems really quick to scramble to his right when he senses any kind of pressure, whether it is real or imagined. So I think he needs to just learn to make the routine plays, take the check down, via Tom Brady, and not trying to, play hero ball every time.
But I don't know if the coach to do that is on the roster right now.
That's the problem. I don't know the coach to make him do it is on the roster right now. But anyway, we're out of time. Thanks, Remy, for joining. I mean, it's always a pleasure. I don't know what I'm going to do with this Liverpool jersey right now. It's too big for Alric, so I can't leave it with him because it's definitely too big for him. But
I just want to say the fact that you actually honored your bet and did it, enough respect.
I am a man of my word. I'm a man of my integrity.
Absolutely.
I'm always going to.
Honored his word.
I honored my word.
You hang the jersey around your neck like a dribbler.
You guys can't see it. You guys in the radio land can't see it.
That's not wearing it.
See there?
You say you would wear it. So you carried the jersey.
It was around my neck. It was around my neck. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Anyway, we'll be back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Are you ready for a patio makeover you can afford? Then come to Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills in Montego Bay. We now offer a new line of beautiful, truly affordable furniture that will make your outdoor space look amazing. And you won't find it anywhere else at these prices. Get that high-end look that is sure to impress, easy in-store financing, and island-wide delivery options too at Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills, Witter Village Mall, Montego Bay, and ParadisePatioJamaica.com.
You can have it all. Company events, birthday parties, or the wedding of your dreams. It's all possible at Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts. We have magnificent event rooms and a dedicated team that will make your event the best experience that only Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts can offer. Contact us at 876-619-0000 or call your favorite travel agency and ask about our promotion designed especially for you.
Good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Swaby. We'll be talking some rugby now. I'm working with Kevin Williams, my technical operator on the other side of the glass, and as I said, we'll be talking some rugby. As the Dwayne Park Sharks, they would have beaten the JDF Warriors 16-17 a short while ago in the National Club Championships. And we are joined by the coach of the Dwayne Park Sharks, Roy Calvert. Roy, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening and thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. 17-16. First, I must say congratulations on the victory.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a good encounter. We expected nothing less from the JDF Warriors. They have been a very consistent team all season, and I think this was probably one of the best or the closest finals that we have seen in a while.
17-16. Tell me what gave you the edge.
I just experience. This is actually our 8th championship in a row. We have a bunch of players who have been here before, and they just know how to deal with tight situations. But take nothing from the Warriors. They actually led for a majority of the first half. But again, I'm just proud that my boys were able to dig in and come out with the victory.
Tell me, like I said, this was a hard-fought game, and it ended 17-16, which proved that. But at any time were you worried that you and your boys would not be able to come through on top?
I would be lying if I say, I wasn't worried. But I'm not sure that's the word that you'd use. But for me, it was one of our worst technical games for the season. I think the JDF just did not allow it to play. They were very disruptive. They were very aggressive. They were clinical in the execution of their game plan. While we were just never able to settle into ours. As I said, this is the 8th time in a row we have been here. Thank you to national player, Siobhan Grinning, Bailey, who was able to come up with that winning point.
Right, and When you look back on preparation for this game, it being so close, hindsight, as they say, is 2020. Was there anything you think you could have done better or different in preparing the team to make it not as difficult or challenging as it was?
No, I mean, this was a very disruptive season for us. A lot of my senior players were out for a large chunk of the season for various reasons, injuries, personal issues, just life. But what I'm very pleased with is that throughout the year I was able to give debut to about 6 or 7 players who are all under 19. Yeah. As a matter of fact, in the finals today, I was able to play 2 17-year-olds. So it was just one of those seasons for us where things didn't quite go as smooth as before, but then we understand that the more you win is the closer you actually get to a lot.
You would have mentioned the national player, but who are some of the other standout players you think would have carried this team throughout the season?
Daniel Graham was actually awarded MVP for the finals. I think he, when a lot of the senior players were out throughout the season, he really stood up and led the team. Captain Marvin Thompson again had a disruptive year through injuries, but he came good towards the back half of the season and so that he was able to fill the ship. So there are a lot of guys, as I said, today a lot of guys had their worst game of the season. The game was error-riddled, but at the same time, the champions always find a way to win, whether it's by an inch or a mile, and today, we took that inch.
Right. Speaking of the game being challenging, and you also mentioned that the whole season was challenging because of injury and other situation with your players. Tell me what makes the Sharks so dominant even with a challenging year like this?
Well, it goes back to our culture now. We interestingly, this year we're actually celebrating our 20th anniversary as a club, and we were adamant to ensure that we give the club what it deserves. At the Duane Park, and it's actually Duane Park Red Sharks, we take our culture very seriously. Whilst we are proud to develop athletes, we're also keen on developing young men who can be good citizens of Jamaica, who can be good citizens in society. So it's not, for us, it's not all about the sport. We have the thing in our club that we're a professional club, so it's either you are working or you're going to school. And we start to see how best we can assist with many of those.
Right.
So it's not about superstars. It's about having a system, and once people come in and buy into the system, then, stars are born. So I think that is what separates us from every other club, is the system that we have in place. That even if you move a part out, once somebody comes in and they're able to replace that part and play within that system, then, the machine will just keep on going.
Tell me, where was the game played?
The game was played at the University of the West Indies Mona Bowl.
Right. Tell me, do you have challenge finding fields to play the matches?
We did. So for example, in our name, you said we're called Duane Park Red Sharks.
Right.
But we have not been able to basically play on our home ground for about 4 or 5 years now.
Wow.
I mean, 2 of those years were due to COVID.
Wow.
So finding places to play rugby in Jamaica is very challenging because we have to share football field.
Right.
And of course, we understand that football is a bigger sport, but it's always a challenge. But the University of the West Indies has been very, very good to us. There is a signed MOU between them and Rugby League Jamaica that allow us to use their field. And that is what we basically have been using for matches. We play at other fields. For example, the JDF has their own home ground. There's a club that is based out of BBCO High School in St. Elizabeth that we actually play there as well.
Right.
So there are fields that we get, we get the use of, but it's not as consistent as we would like. So that is still a big challenge for us.
Right. Tell me, for those who aren't familiar with this league, tell us a little bit about it. When it starts, how many teams started, what's the league like, what sort of a format?
All right. So quickly, I can just give you a full rundown. So Rugby League is played in about 10 to 12 high schools at the under 14, under 16, and under 19 levels. Right out of high school, it is currently played in 6 tertiary institutions: UWI, UTech, CMU, XED. I'm forgetting the other 2 right now. But there's 6 tertiary institutions. Then coming out of those tertiary institutions, you have a Division 2 competition where there's about 8 clubs that play at Division 2 level.
Right.
And then there are 8 clubs that play at the Division 1 level, which is a competition that has just concluded.
Right.
That's our national club championship. So that is the number 1 club competition in the country. 8 clubs took part this year. We started from about the last week in May. The clubs were Dwayne Park Red Sharks, you have the JDF Warriors, you have the Washington Boulevard Bulls, you have the St. Catherine Thundercats, you have the Ligani Dragons, you have the West Kingston Hyenas, and you have the BB Coke, the St. Elizabeth Sledgehammers that are based at BB Coke. So the competition has 8 teams, and each team plays each other once. And then there's a ranking system. So in all, for the entire season, each club will end up playing about 12 to 13 games.
Okay. And tell me, what's the support been like in terms of fan support?
Yeah, man, it's good. It's good. I mean, especially today, for our grand finals, I would say we probably had about 200 people. I know for, we compare these numbers to football, it seems very small, but then again, outside of football, I often challenge people to tell me which other field sport in Jamaica get crowds with that number.
Right.
Definitely not cricket, definitely not hockey. So for our standards, it's good. I just want to make a quick plug here. For next week Saturday at the UWI Bowl will be the biggest game of the year. POR generally get way over 500 people to a POR game. So that is next week Saturday at the UWI Bowl at 3 o'clock. The main game is at 3 o'clock.
Explain what is this POR game?
All right. So it's like the national trial game where the players are put into 2 pools, Team Red and Team Blue.
Right.
Team Red is typically made up of the players that live in Kingston and St. Andrew, while Team Blue is typically made up of players on the rest of the island.
Right.
So what's going to be interesting is that there are players who will play for the same club today, but in POR next week they are playing against each other. That's generally the biggest game of the year. Generally, as I said, wherever we go, we generally the stands are normally packed. So the admission is $500 for next week. So I would encourage anybody who wants to learn about the game of rugby league and you want to come and have a good time, next week Saturday at the UWI Bowl is the place to be.
What time is the game?
The main game. So next week we have a under 16 game, we have an under 19 game, we have a senior game. First game actually starts at 1 o'clock, with the senior game starting at 3:30.
Right. Okay, and tell me, like I said, this is the POR is a game with players from the national team. Is it this is how you select the national team?
Yes, definitely. And interestingly, out of this, Jamaica is actually taking on Canada on October 19th.
Right.
That team has already been selected and have been in training. So that is also the other big thing on the horizon for us. And Jamaica is actually playing against Wales in Wales coming up in November. Okay. We also have a women's program, and the women will be taking on the US and Canada in the USA in November. and that will actually form a part of the World Cup qualifiers for the Women's Championship. This is the first time Jamaica will be taking part in this competition. So, it's going to be interesting to see how we go.
Share the actual date for these competitions.
I do not remember the date for the women's game or the game against Wales, because those are in November.
Okay.
But the game against Canada is going to be on October 19th at Lamport Stadium in Toronto.
And I'm assuming preparations has already begun for those games. What's the preparation been like for the teams?
Preparation has been good. The boys have been training pretty well for the past couple of months. The team that takes on Canada in Canada, it'll be a total different set of players that will be playing against Wales in Wales.
Okay.
Because we have to be smart in how we do things. We really have no money. So what we find is that every year we try to have internationals in the Americas, and we allow the local players to take part in those games. So local players will play against Canada and the USA, right, because it's cheaper. And then when we have games in Europe, our UK-based players will take on those games. And then when we have the World Cup qualifiers now, all the World Cup, then we select the best of the best.
Right, but I mean, teams in Wales and UK would have given us more challenge. There would have been more experience, better players from those in Canada and the USA. Wouldn't it be good? I can understand the challenge, financial challenge in getting teams to go to the UK, but is it possible to have teams come down from the UK to play or local players?
Yeah, actually, earlier on this year, we actually had teams visiting from England to play against our under 16 under 19. So there's a lot happening in the space. I know there are plans already for teams to travel to Jamaica from the UK next year, but what you find is that the countries in the UK, sometimes they don't want to come to Jamaica, or the people probably to, and again, our facilities,
right,
our facilities are a bit different from what they are used to.
Mm-hmm.
And these are professional players, and sometimes their clubs will not want to release them, knowing that, in Jamaica we don't have certain things in place to facilitate certain things. So it's a relationship that we are building. We're trying to build that. And as I said, but there are clubs from the UK who will come and take us on here locally.
Right, but with that, then it's safe to assume that there won't be an international competition being played in Jamaica anytime soon. Then.
No. COVID set us back far away, because in 2021 we were supposed to have the World Cup qualifiers here in Jamaica.
Okay.
At that time, it was supposed to be Jamaica, USA, Canada, Brazil, and I think Belize. Yeah. So there were plans in place, but now, as I said, with COVID and a lot of things, and it being a contact sport, there are a lot of new protocols that are in place that we have to be mindful of.
Right. Where does Jamaica rank in terms of the world? When you look on the world ranking?
So there are two different rugby, and we have to always differentiate. There's rugby league and there's rugby union. We're talking about rugby league now. That's the team that went to the World Cup in 2022. Currently, we are, last time I checked, which was about a month ago, we are ranked 16th in the world.
Okay.
Right, and our program is similar somewhat to that of the Reggae Boys in terms of we have local contingent here, but then we also have professional players that ply their trade in Europe.
Right.
So whenever the full national team come together for qualifiers and for the actual World Cup, then you select the best of the best.
Right. And I'm assuming that Jamaica would be the dominant country in the Americas.
Yes, we are, even though we lost to the US in Kingston last November, that is still, because the US also have a lot of professional players who play in England and Australia.
Right.
The USA beat us 3 or 4 times before we were able to beat them once. And the one time we beat them was to qualify for the last World Cup.
Okay.
And they actually came to Jamaica to play us last year because they actually wanted back that victory. And they actually got it. They beat us by about 2 points, I think, in Kingston last year.
Speaking of the World Cup, the number of teams to the World Cup has been reduced.
Yeah.
It must be troubling to you and your association. And where does it put Jamaica in terms of our ability to qualify with only 10 teams going to the World Cup this time around?
Yeah, I mean, it will be a bit harder this time around, but our attitude has always been, nobody believed that we would have done it the first time. Yeah, the first time it was difficult. The first time there were things that we had to be doing. Players had to be paying their way. Players had to be, taking their own savings to do stuff. So we have always had challenges because, again, rugby in our culture is not something that we readily jump out at people. I mean, we are a track and field, and I hope the sports people don't come at me, but we're a track and field nation trying to play football. Right? So those two sports are king. But interestingly, it would be remiss of me if I didn't thank some of the association or the partners, who have always reached out and tried to help us. The Sports Development Foundation, has always had our back. Supreme Ventures have done a lot for us, over the last few years. This year, Guardian Life actually last week, came on board as a sponsor for our women's team. So, I think it's hard work. It's hard, plodding, but we continue to do the work. We continue to understand that this is our legacy. Not everybody can run fast. I mean, come on. In Jamaica, if you're not running below 10 seconds in 100 meter, then sometimes why not try another sport?
Right.
And that is how we have to be, trying to market ourselves. Talking about another sport, we do have a couple of our players who actually do, pre-season training with MVP track club. So big up MVP for allowing our players to come in and to use the expertise to put in their background training. So it has been a long, hard road, but we love what we do. When we see the number of lives that, we are able to touch and affect positively, as I said, we're not just about developing athletes, we're about developing good men and women now of society.
Okay, then Roy Calvert, again, thanks much for stopping by and talking with us. We wish you and your team all the best.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Roy Calvert, coach of the Duane Park Red Shark. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
We a big deal when we touch ground. Yeah, I can see when we're pulling up. Anything for the taste what we love. Barbecue, spicy and original, flavorful, crispy, irresistible. 3 piece with the fries and a Pepsi. Go get your one big deal, stop stress me. All when we dip on the toilet, not left with. Anything for the taste of a juicy, crunchy, irresistible KFC big deal. 3 pieces of delicious chicken, fries and Pepsi. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. This is our final segment of the show. And we'll go over back to the bodybuilding where we join Kirk Frankson, the Vice President of JABFA. Kirk, good evening again.
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay, Kirk, tell me what's the latest, what's been happening since we last talked?
All right, so thanks again for the opportunity to share with Jamaica what's been happening. So as shared earlier, we've actually started. We're now actually in the part of the program where we go through the gym parade, giving the athletes an opportunity to come on stage under the umbrella of their gym, recognizing the gym as our important partners where persons would actually put in all of that hard work. So we're now looking to show both Jamaica and the audience the full cadre of athletes as a precursor to the rest of the night.
Tell me, what's the excitement level amongst both patrons and athletes?
Well, it's quite, it's, again, if you could hear in the background, quite noisy. The athletes are receiving standing ovations from their crowds. As we can appreciate, most of the athletes would be quite happy to have their clients, family members, friends in attendance cheering them on.
Right. And pre-favorites, who are some of the pre-favorites for this championships?
So we do have quite a few favorites for this championship. So what is interesting is in terms of what we have persons coming out of Tough Fitness. We have Kimani Kirby, who did very well last year at novice, trying to actually transition into becoming the senior championship. We have several persons like Henry Graham and Rupert Johnson, multiple times Mr. Jamaica, returning to try and claim another title of the overall Mr. Jamaica. In the bikini fitness category, we have persons like Diane Brown, well-established coach in Miss Jamaica contestant, also transitioning into fitness as one of the persons looking to be a dual threat.
Right. And is there a particular category that you are hearing from the fans that they are looking out for, especially looking out for, or a category that you know that persons look out for over the years?
Yeah, so the category that has really emerged as interesting is the men's physique category, which is the beach body, or what persons call the beach shorts category. That category generally has grown exponentially over the last 3 or 4 years, that a lot of males have been particularly interested in that category, and that's where we close the night crowning our overall men's physique champion.
Right. And in terms of the sponsors, I'm assuming the sponsors are comfortable with what they are seeing and they are interacting with the fans and athletes?
Yes, so the sponsors are here. They're quite happy to be on board. We have, again, our title sponsor, Mayberry, on board. We have CPJ on board. We have Lasco out in the foyer areas giving out hydration. We have some of our other sponsors providing gift baskets with Cinco, Fitness Junkie providing supplements for persons. So the sponsors are here in their numbers.
Right. Earlier when we spoke, I did not ask you, but for those who can't make it to the AC Hotel, will they be able to watch what's happening via stream or follow on your various social media platforms?
So thanks for that question. So we will have snippets on our social media platform. For persons who want to actually see snippets of the show can actually join us on our Instagram profile, our TikTok profile. You can actually get snippets. The handle is actually JABFA, JABBFA.
Right. And that's for all your social media?
That's correct.
Right. And tell us, like I said, it's a very festive atmosphere there at the championships. Remind those that want to come out what's the cost to come to the show, what's in store.
Yeah, so thanks again for that. So the show started at 7 o'clock. We are at the AC Hotel in Kingston. We finish at 10:30. Tickets are $6,000 at the gate. Persons can come out. It's a family event, quite fun. The environment is quite, again, energized. The environment is also quite salubrious, so persons will make a night of it.
Right. Tell me, Kirk, what are you looking forward to most? I know that you won't be able to watch too much of it as one of the organizers, but what are you looking forward to most?
So thanks again for that question. I think for me, what I'm most looking for, most excited for, is for us as an association, we recognize that the bodybuilding category had been in decline in the last few years. This year and last year in particular, we noticed that we've seen an increase of bodybuilders, and we've actually now started to return to having categories like classic bodybuilding, having a category for light heavyweight as a bodybuilder. So for me, what I'm looking at is for us to actually use that as an opportunity to continue to grow the sport of bodybuilding. That is really our foundation sport.
Right. Okay, then, Kirk, thanks so much for your time. I wish you and your team all the best.
Okay, thank you very much again, and thanks for the opportunity to share with Jamaica.
It's our pleasure. Kirk Frankson, Vice President of JABFA. We take a quick break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Clip You Stalky?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also tune into the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Clip News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Raby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Before we go, we must say a special condolence to the family and friends of Alf Remeke, the late national coordinator for the Jamaica Basketball Association. He passed away yesterday, so on behalf of the Sports Nation and Nationwide family, we want to send a special condolence to the family and friends of Alf Remeke. And there has not been any schoolboy football today, if in case you are wondering why we haven't shared any results with you, but there weren't any schoolboy football today, and this is due to a difference between the ISA and the Referees Association. Let me read a release sent by ISA. The Intersecondary School Sports Association, ISA, was today forced to postpone all games scheduled for Saturday, September 28th in the Da Costa Cup competition. These games are now scheduled to be played on Monday, September 30, 2024. The postponement of the games resulted from a position taken by the members of the Jamaica Football Referees Association, JFRA, and communicated to ISA earlier today. To not make themselves available for games in or competitions until an urgent meeting is held between their representatives and ISA. It should be noted that ISA arranged and met with the representatives of the JFRA within an hour of receiving the letter of concern from the JFRA. Despite a fruitful and meaningful meeting with all concerns raised were addressed and the solutions agreed upon, the referees decided that they would not make themselves available for games before Monday, September 30. The concerns raised by the JFRA are related to the general safety and security of match officials at our games, as well as the stipulated penalties for persons who verbally or physically abuse match officials. ISA has committed to reviewing its general operations and, in particular, the specific areas of concerns raised, with the intention of ensuring that we continue to provide a safe and a wholesome environment for all persons participating in our various competitions. So that's the reason behind the decision the reason why there was no schoolboy football competition being played today. But there will be Premier League matches, Jamaica Premier League matches come tomorrow as Harbourview, they'll take on Mullines United. Via United, they'll host Humber Lions. Waterhouse, they'll welcome Cavalier. Arnott Gardens, they'll go up against Racing United. Chapelton Maroons, they'll take on Montego Bay United. That's on Monday. Also on Monday, Portmore United, they'll face Tivoli Gardens. Oh, let me share some more news as FIFA has named the 12 stadiums set to host the New Look Club World Cup in the United States next year. The tournament, which will run from June 15 to July 13, 2025, is the first staging of an expanded 32-team competition. Matches will be played across the U.S., with the final to take place at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, 5 miles from New York City. The other venues are Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, TQL Stadium in Cincinnati, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Geodis Park in Nashville, Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Inter and Co Stadium in Orlando, Rose Bowl Stadium in Los Angeles, Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Lumen Field in Seattle, Audi Field in Washington. So those are the venues or the stadiums that will be used for the expanded FIFA Club World Cup next year. Now Chelsea, Manchester City and Real Madrid have all automatically qualified from Europe as the most recent winners of the Champions League in the last 4 cycles. Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Inter Milan, Porto and Benfica will also feature thanks to their coefficient ranking. 6 South American clubs and 12 teams from Asia, Africa and North America will make up the rest of the tournament. while a spot is given to one club from Oceania and another for the US as the host nation. The Club World Cup had previously been an annual mid-season tournament which included 6 teams from 7 worldwide confederations. So there you have it, the stadiums that will be used to host the expanded FIFA Club World Cup come 2025. Now that's all the time we have for you. We'll have to say thanks to everyone that made the show possible. Thanks to Joey Yapton, Kirk Frankson, Jerome Jarrett, Remy Evans. Thanks to Roy Calvert and my technical operator Kevin Williams. I'm Alex Raby saying God bless, good night, and as usual, hope you'll be in church on Sunday. If you don't have a church to worship, you are welcome to worship with us at 159 Olympic Way. That's Tower Hill Missionary Church. God bless. Good night.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.